on social media, and next thing I know, it was a 2-run home run to tie it up. We go into extra innings, and I was like, all right, well, let me finish watching. It was the McDonald's game's getting out of, it was kind of getting ugly, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go watch baseball. Looked on Twitter, and the game was over. Walk-off home run. Pitching again last night. Got the bats going, and that we just heard from Dave Van Horn. He was happy with the lineup and the way they hit the ball. They had 12 hits last night. They were taking walks. Arkansas, 5, 7, 8, 9 walks, 12 hits, 21 guys on base. At least, maybe been some more, but man, pitching. That's worrisome because these are guys that are going to be pitching this weekend. It's not like a midweek game where you can go, those pitchers, those weren't guys that you're going to be using on the weekends. You're going to be fine. No, it was our guy Still Eaves. Good first inning, bad second inning. James DeCreamer, Jackson Kircher, Mark Brissy, Parker Coyle, Cooper Dossett, and then Peyton Lee gets the loss. Now, Peyton has been a midweek guy, and they had to turn to him at the end. I think they just didn't get quite enough innings from some of their guys because they didn't pitch well enough, and they were starting to run out of pitchers, and had to go with Cooper. I think 1 inning too long. I wish Cooper didn't have to come in the 7th. Maybe if they could have just got the 8th or one less inning, he would have had enough stuff to get out of the 9th inning and get the win. But those are guys that Arkansas needs this weekend, and that's part of the reason they had a short leash. I don't think a pitcher threw more than 30. Yeah, Parker Coyle threw 37 pitches. That's the most yesterday. So they were trying to keep everybody, get them in, get them out, so that they're ready if needed Thursday, Friday, or Saturday against Auburn.
Yeah, they went into the game with a plan. It was a bullpen game, and that's what you see. You're going to see a number of pitchers depending on the game flow, and they expected that. But they also expect with that they're going to do everything they can to win the game. They weren't able to. And Missouri State traditionally is a really good baseball program. So you can't go into a game against Missouri State thinking it's just going to be one of those midweek games that you're just going to walk in and win the game, because they're always bringing something good to the table on their part where they're coming in to win.
Oh, this was huge for Missouri State. They had 6,500 people there. Their announcer was like, he didn't know the last time they had that many in the ballpark. That was huge for Missouri State, and their fans were loud. They were bringing it last night. It created a good environment.
They got to see a good game with a lot of runs, and we know that's what fans want to see. They want to see runs. They want to see points. They got to see a lot of it and got extra innings.
The game went 3 hours and 46 minutes. It was a long game. Started at 6:10, was over about 10 o'clock last night. Every pitcher except for Jackson Kircher that pitched for Arkansas gave up runs. Everyone. And it would have been multiple runs except for Peyton Lee gave up a solo home run as the walk-off. Everybody else gave up at least 2 runs in their short stint. That's the disappointing thing. Jackson Kircher, by the way, ending in 3rd out of Little Rock Christian Academy. No hits, no runs, struck out 2 of his 4 outs, pitched well. No walks. So Jackson Kircher, was the best last night out of the bullpen. And not a good day, not a good time right now for the Diamond Hogs.
You can understand concern from the fan base because these are outside of starting pitching. This is what you're going to have to depend on. These guys come in and try to win some games for you, especially in a case where starting pitching may not be there to begin with, and now you have to turn to bullpen. And competition's only going to be better when you face conference opponents, so there's a bit of cause for concern.
Mm-hmm. One of the things they always like to get to 20 wins before 10 losses. We're used to that around here. They're 19-11. So they're not. They've already missed that mark of 20-10. Maybe they can get on a little bit of a run and get 30 before they get to 20. But now they've already made it to Auburn. Heard the story from the Zone. They got in last night about 3 o'clock, or this morning about 3 o'clock after their late game and late flight to Auburn. And they'll try to turn things around this weekend, or Thursday, because of Easter Sunday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend. We'll have more on the Diamond Hogs. Kevin Bohannon's going to join us at 1:30 today. He also wants to talk a little spring football. I'm up for that. Let's talk some spring football. Really enjoyed hearing from the secondary coaches on, what's today, Wednesday? I guess it was Monday. They met with the media yesterday. They practiced. Man, it's cool. I get to talk with Tay Lockett a lot, the freshman safety from Conway.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in California, moved to Conway for his senior year, got family up in Conway. He was telling me what all they do on not even a practice day. It is – I had no idea that much was going on with football, even on a quote, off day. They're not off just because they're not practicing. There's so much work that they're doing in the film rooms and in the meeting rooms. Like, they'll all gather, and Coach Silverfield will talk to them as a whole team for about 10, 15 minutes. Then they break off into their position groups or defense and offense.
This is on an off day.
This is on like Monday when they didn't practice. And then they'll talk as a defense or an offense for a while. Then they break off into their position groups and they meet, as all the DBs. And then they'll meet just as the safeties. And they're learning every single day new plays, whether it's on offense or defense, new formations, new things. And, I mean, it's like a crash test, just a study for the entire semester. Football's like another class. Classes.
That's what
like
off season is
long.
about, and it's all brand new for coaching staff getting to know these players getting to know coaching staff, and not only players that were here before, but players that are coming in that transferred in. So they're all trying to get to know each other at once, and it lines up. Their schedule's probably lined up as a lighter day, not necessarily an off day. Because on a typical practice day, they're still doing all those same things where they go through meetings on a practice day. But now this is a day where no practice involved, but you just do classwork. And that's typical. And, coaches have different styles. So this may just be Coach Silverfield's style as to how he does it year in and year out. And it's good because now you're giving – them a break from maybe some physical work, but it's all mental on this certain day.
And even Sutton Smith, the running back that came from Memphis, he was like, we're doing different things here than we did at Memphis. Even some of our plays are different because you think he does has a little bit of an advantage because of Cramsey's offense, but he was like, we even got new stuff that we're doing here that wasn't necessarily something we were doing in Memphis. So anyway, we'll talk some spring football with Kevin Bohannon at 1:30. At 2:10, we got Anthony Christensen. We'll talk a little Razorback basketball with him, and also hit on the portal. And it opens up in 6 days next Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on that portal and see if anybody today enters the portal or says they're going to enter the portal. That could be someone that the Razorbacks want to target. And then at 2:30, Kyle Sutherland from hogsports.com will join us. And we'll talk some more Razorbacks with him. So a loaded day today. We'll be taking your phone calls. I'll be checking the text line, 661-1037, 661-1037. That's the text line and to call. In fact, let's take our first call. We got Rick. What's up, Rick?
Hey, I always listen, but sometimes I don't call in. It's been a long time. Hey, I called in about a month ago. I can't remember. It was either Baz or the next guys or y'all. I said, it's okay. It's okay. We're not going to Omaha this year. Sometimes you have that kind of season. It's okay.
You're calling it now? They're not going to Omaha. You're calling it.
No, we're hoping that realistically, we're looking at maybe not even having unless they turn it around, not even having the first series and the tournament. I mean, the playoffs. But I'm telling you, it's just one of them years. I mean, it's not that they're not trying. It's just that putting the pieces together and having the really good players and that build that Van Horn and Hobbs and all them guys can do. So, sometimes it's just not going to happen, and we've had it in football, and we had a few years in basketball. But I tell you one thing about Silverfield, I'm predicting 5 or 6 wins next year. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. Rick from East Arkansas.
All right, Rick.
What do y'all think about all that?
All right. Thank you for the call.
Rick,
first of all, I want to see him for my own eyes. I want to see a practice or the spring game before I make any calls.
Yeah, and as far as the baseball comment, you may be right, Rick. This may be a down year. It may be one of those years where it's not clicking and it doesn't come together. Now, of course, you go into every year with expectations, but you're also going into every year with a new team. You're bringing in new players. That's just the way it is. College sports now, and sometimes it just doesn't hit. It doesn't click. It doesn't come together, and this may be one of those years. You may be right on.
I'll ask Cabo what he thinks. If he feels like this team can put it all together. I haven't given. I'm optimistic though. You know that. I always feel like DVH is going to figure things out, and Hobbs and Thompson, and they'll be clicking at the right time of the year. And heck, you don't want them peaking in April right now, but you do want them to start playing better in April and then start peaking in May, late May, and get to the College World Series. But I'm not ready to write off this team. There's too many good players on this team. They're just not playing well right now. That is easy to say and see after losing 4 straight games, but I'm not going to say that they're a bad team and they're not capable of think about the Florida Gators, what the Florida fans were saying. Probably something very similar to Arkansas fans last week after they were swept by Alabama. And then they come in the following weekend, sweep Arkansas. And it looked like an entirely different team. I'm not saying Arkansas needs to go sweep Alabama or Auburn the next 2 weekends, but they need to turn things around. And then maybe things will start feeling a little better around the program and fans will feel a little bit better. Let's go to Jason. He's in Little Rock. What's up, Jason?
Hey, guys, what's going on? I'm a big lifetime Razorback fan, and for many, many years, we've always started out so strong, and the other teams around us that build the momentum towards tournament time, that's the teams that get going. And, man, he's still got a lot of kids that he's trying to figure out, so I'm not really down at all, man. Florida's a good ball club. We went to Missouri State. They're a good ball club. I knew my buddy was talking about, I took them by 2.5. I'm like, man, you're crazy. On the road, them guys are good coming off a skid. But I'm not discouraged at all because he's going to put them guys in the right spots at the right time, and all they got to do is click at the right time, and we're going to be on fire.
I like the call. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate the optimism. How do you guys feel about it? 661-1037, 661-1037. First things first, they got to get the pitching going. I mean, this was a team that we thought the strength was going to be, and it has been for most of the season, the pitching staff, but the last – now 4 games that they've lost, the pitching just hasn't gotten it done, whether it's starting pitching or the bullpen. And that's the difference in a lot of these close games. You give up you think about the one extra run that Arkansas gave up Sunday against Florida. I think it was it Brissy that came in Sunday, gave up a run. Well, Aloy tied it up later in the that half inning. But if the pitching staff does the job, puts up a 0, instead of tying it back up, you take a 1-run lead, and maybe you win that game. But bullpen right now, along with starting pitching, is an issue.
Well, it seems like they haven't played those certain games as a complete team. If offense is clicking for them and going, then pitching is off. If pitching is carrying them, then hitting is not coming through. So it just seems like they haven't put it together as a complete team in a lot of these games.
Yeah, that was the story earlier. When the pitching was doing well, they weren't hitting enough for us. We were like, they got to score some more runs. And then they have started hitting the ball a little better this weekend, but the pitching let them down. I mean, last night you score 12 runs. That should be enough to win. 14 runs. Sorry, definitely 14 runs should be enough to win a game last night. And felt like the hitting was better, but just couldn't hold a lead. Wes, the Hogs and Bears game last night, my daughter asked me, it's like nobody wanted to win the game. The lead changes were crazy in this game. I mean, Arkansas scored first, and then Missouri State scored 6 in the second. Arkansas battled back, got into one-run game, retook the lead in the fourth. And then in the bottom of the fourth, Missouri State retook the lead. Then Arkansas took the lead in the fifth. And Missouri State retook the lead in the sixth. Arkansas came right back, scored 4 in the seventh, retook the lead, and held that lead until the ninth, and then blew it. Yeah, it was a bunch of wild swings in that game, momentum. Prior to last season, I believe the last time we made it to Omaha, we didn't even host a regional. However, we won at Oklahoma State and beat North Carolina at their place to go to Omaha. It's BK and BB. Thank you, BK. Yeah, there have been several times that Arkansas hasn't hosted a regional or super regional and ended up going to Omaha. And that's maybe the route they have to go this year. I mean, because as of right now, they wouldn't be hosting, not even a regional. They got a lot of work to do just to get to host a regional, much less a super regional. First things first, they just need to start winning and even have a chance to be playing their best baseball at the end of the season. 501 says, Wes, DVH for me has taken Hogs to national prominence. He is not Superman coach. Kind of make sure I'm reading that right. He's taken them national prominence. He is not Superman coach. I think he's a heck of a coach, and you know what? He's got a great staff too, with Hobbs and Thompson. It's not all on DVH, but I think his staff will get it turned around. And they'll figure things out. Look, they got the bats turned around. I think Hobbs will get the pitching sorted out and figured out.
I think that comment is saying more about players. Players have to do their part once they get in these games.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. 414 writing in says the deep runs in Omaha that the 09 and 12 teams went on, led by guys like Brett Eibner, had to all happen on the road because they were a game below and a game above 500 in SEC play. Let's just get in the tournament. Yeah, first things first, got to make the tournament to make a run at Omaha. A little early to be talking about that. I still feel like, heck, they've only played 3 series, got 7 more to go. But these next 2 on the road, that's crucial. Got to start figuring some things out. We'll continue the baseball talk with Kevin Bohannon. He's going to join us when we come back, hogsports.com. We'll also talk a little spring football with him. It's going to be a good day. I can feel it. I can tell already. Got a bunch of participation, calling in, texting in. I like it. We'll hear from Cabo next. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
If you don't already have the Bet Saracen Sports Wager app, download it today from the app stores or go to BetSaracen.com. Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
This is Sports Center.
Razorback baseball is now 19-11 overall on the year, losing their 4th consecutive game ahead of this weekend's series at 18th-ranked Auburn. The Razorbacks were walked off by Missouri State's Caden Bogenpol in the bottom of the 10th inning. Bogenpol hit a walk-off home run 419 feet to left field against freshman right-hander Peyton Lee, giving the Bears a 15-14 victory over the Hogs. The Razorbacks and Bears will meet again in Fayetteville on Tuesday, April 21st. The Razorbacks will begin their weekend road series at Auburn tomorrow night. And some NBA scores from last night: the Magic beat the Suns 115-111. The Pistons beat the Raptors 127-116. The Rockets beat the Knicks 111-94, and the Lakers beat the Cavaliers 127-113. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
Tune in each week to Out of Bounds to hear from Lone Oak Steel Eaves. Omaha is the goal, and we're looking for a great season. Steel Eaves is brought to you by Stephen Elmore with Shelter Insurance. For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Stephen Elmore or give him a call at 501-537-0959.
What drives you? Family moments, new adventures, or just the love of the open road? Whatever it is, Gwatney Chevrolet is here to help you get there. For generations, we've been more than a dealership. We've been part of life's milestones, big and small. With a team that puts you first and a car buying experience that's easy and stress-free, we're here to find the perfect vehicle for what drives you. Visit us in Jacksonville or online at GuatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen, founded over a decade ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, roll-off dumpsters, and street sweepers. Proud to be Arkansas's only authorized dealer for New Way refuse trucks and Timco street sweepers. Your authorized dealer for Galfab roll-off and hook lift trucks. You can get parts and service for all makes and models with technicians traveling the state to take care of you. AME, it's the service after the sale.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 7th or Wednesday, April 8th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
Luxury Pool & Spa in Conway and Roseville is your headquarters for pool and spa chemicals. Luxury Pool & Spa is ready to get your pool balanced and swim ready with Pool Life and Baquasil Pool Chemicals. Luxury Pool & Spa is also a proud dealer of Polywood Outdoor Furniture, Climate Tough Materials, Color Stay Technology, and the 20-year warranty. If you're thinking about a hot tub, they have the amazing Caldera hot tubs in stock on their showroom floor. Live the life of luxury with Luxury Pool & Spa. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com. FanDuel, in partnership with Oaklawn Sports, is now available in Arkansas. With FanDuel, you can get in on college hoops action any night of the week because Oaklawn Sports, powered by FanDuel, has all your favorite college basketball bets from points to rebounds to which team you think is going to win. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. And for a limited time, new Arkansas customers get started with $300 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So just visit FanDuel.com/Arkansas to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Arkansas to get started with $300 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet. Play your game with FanDuel, now available in Arkansas. 21 plus and present in Arkansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
They hit 2 home runs to beat us. That's what happened. I mean, you know, Dawson pitched pretty good in the 7th and the 8th. The 9th, obviously, he threw a cutter that stayed, kind of went down and into the barrel, and he smoked it. Tie game, and probably got lucky to get out of that inning. He lines out, I think, on 2 pitches. He gets us in the dugout. Throws the 3rd pitch. It leaves the yard oppo big time, and the wind was blowing out. The ball's flying, but the ball was hit good. I mean, what you have when you can't really go to any more guys. We had to save for Thursday. If we played Friday, it'd be different, but we played Thursday.
It's Dave Van Horn after the Razorbacks lose a tough one at Missouri State. Kind of reinforces what I was thinking. They just ran out of guys they wanted to use last night, and they were trying to get a couple more outside of Cooper Dossett. Then had to go to Peyton Lee in the 10th. We're going to go to Kevin Bohannon now. He joins us. What's up, K-Bo?
Hey, guys. How are we today?
I'm good.
Good. How are you, K-Bo?
I'm living the dream, man. Living the dream. Spring is in full swing. It's, my favorite time of the year. You got a lot going on and a lot of things to look forward to. High school baseball is, we're right in the heart of conference season. 4 weeks away from postseason, believe it or not. And the Razorbacks have a lot to figure out. This is a year that a lot of fans haven't experienced because, think back to 2016 was the last time they didn't make a regional, and that wasn't until the last 13 games of the year when they lost their last 13 games. So Razorback fans really haven't gone through something like this in a while.
Yeah, and they're 4-5 in the SEC. It's like,
I
what
know,
in the
it's not
world
like
is going
the
on?
world's falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're ranked 17th, ranked 15th, whatever. We go by D1 Baseball at hogsports.com, so they're 17 to us. And that's kind of where, I had them pegged between 10 and 15 to start the season just because there were so many unknowns. And, the guys have shown flashes of what they can do, but it's the consistency factor is not there. And there's more parity now in college baseball because guys at Power 4 schools are able to transfer to places like Missouri State. Bryce Sermonelli, that led off for Missouri State last night, had 4 hits. He came from UCA. And you get older guys like that, they're going to make an impact on a team like that change conferences. And they came in last night with the number 11 RPI and played like a team that could get an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament.
We've talked about not being overly concerned with losing midweek games because it happens every year. But I think where more of the concern comes in from fans when you do pair it with not only losing midweek games, but also they do have that losing conference record early in conference season that, like you mentioned, fan base isn't used to seeing that or hearing that the team has been struggling to a certain point like that. And it's combined.
Yeah, and it's been 10 years since somebody swept Arkansas at home. And that's just something that you didn't see. That they were used to whether, I was at I think it was 21 or 22 where they lost the first game to Ole Miss on a Friday night. Connor Nolan lost that start, and then they won the next 2. Kendall Diggs walked them off with a home run. So, they've lost first games of the series, but getting swept, it's been 10 years. And there's a lot of pressure right now. Of course, you have the injuries with Mike Anu. He's ill. I think strep was the diagnosis. And then Damian Ruiz is going to be out with a patellar tendon injury for about a month. I would say it may be a little longer. You don't mess with the patella. That's the main tendon right there in the knee, especially when you're a leadoff hitter and run like he does. So there's a lot of pressure right now. There's pressure on the pitching staff to be perfect because the offense can just go non-existent for a little while. We've seen batting averages drop significantly. I think Reese Robinette's down to like 242 right now. Kuhio Aloy struck out 5 times last night. That puts a little added pressure. You think back to Gabe Gackle at the first of last year when he was trying to be so fine with everything and pitch like it was a PlayStation 5 MLB The Show game. And he's just trying to place it everywhere he goes. And it leads to walks. It leads to hit batters. So that pressure mounts. It's not something that you take on because you want to. It's something that you have in the back of your mind. Okay, I have to be perfect out here and limit a team to 2 or 3 runs because we're not going to score them. On the other side, now the offense starts having some pressure put on them because the pitching staff is giving up runs. They got in a 6-1 hole last night. Yeah, they came back. The wind was blowing out. It was a good situation. Missouri State didn't have guys on the mound that were just going to, carve you up at any point. But they got to find a good mix of consistency, guys. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is they're putting too much pressure on themselves and not going back to fundamentals. Kuhio Aloy is so far off the baseball right now. He's in TJ Pompey land like Pompey was early in the season. There has to be a dramatic shift in approach at the plate, or there's no reason for him to be playing right now.
More concerned
I'm just
with
going to be honest.
More concerned with at this time, pitching or hitting?
Pitching right now, just because of how drastic the shift has been. If you can't keep, I don't care how many runs you score, if you can't keep guys off the base paths, you're not going to have a shot. And you've seen some good things. Cooper Dawson last weekend against Florida went an inning in the 3rd. Last night, he just went too far. He had thrown too many. But they were going to have to rely on him to go the last 3 innings of the game because that's where they were at in their bullpen and the depth. It was a midweek game. But they needed to win that one last night for their resume, guys, because their RPI right now is like 60. Oh. Usually the cutoff is like 42, 41. That's where they usually look at it. Now, there is still hope, and hope is a fickle thing. It's a dangerous thing, but The goal is 18-12 at least. Okay, if you win 2 out of 3 on average every weekend in the SEC, you finish 20-10. That's usually what Arkansas does at the end of the season. They'll sweep somebody, they may lose a series, but they'll finish 20-10. But they want to finish 18-12. To do that, they got to go 14-7 from here on out. That's winning 2 out of 3 from here on out. That's what they have to do to finish 18-12. I don't think they'll do it. I think this is a team that's going to, be right there at 16-14, maybe 17-13, because they got some road trips coming up, especially to Auburn. Auburn's going to be playing like a mad hornet this weekend because they got swept by Alabama. Second straight weekend, Arkansas's opponent had just been swept by the Crimson Tide, so they're going to be at home. They're going to be playing for a lot this weekend. Hosting top 8 national seed is still within reach for Auburn. Not saying it can be for Arkansas. I think that part of it is gone right now, and Arkansas is on the border of playing for their NCAA life right now.
Well, that's why I'm saying all it takes is a good weekend to turn things around. I mean, look at Florida.
Yeah.
And if maybe Arkansas, they should be playing with like a hornet's nest this weekend because they got swept and they've lost 4 in a row. So I hope to see a very focused, determined Razorback team this weekend in Auburn. Pitching-wise, do you see any changes coming?
I made the comment yesterday that they were starting Steele Eves to see if he could be a potential Sunday starter in place of Colin Fisher, just because Fisher hasn't been able to do what a starter does, and that's go 5 innings, get into the 5th inning at least, go at least 5 innings. That's what they want their starters to do. If you can eat up 5 innings, great, do your job. Has he been terrible? Not really, but it's been 4 straight starts that he hasn't gotten into the 5th inning. So what do? You start auditioning. The first guy you look at, well, Cole Gibbler's been your best guy out of the bullpen. Do you really want to take him away? No, because that's not really even trade right now if you put Fisher in the back line of the bullpen for Gibbler, because Gibbler's going to eat up outs. So they have to play this game of what if. All right, so if he's in there and he gets in trouble, where do we go to next? Well, that would be Steele Eves. So I thought they were auditioning Steele Eves last night, possibly to take over that Sunday starting spot. I don't think Dietz is in trouble. I don't think Gackel is in trouble right now. But Fisher, they could be looking at replacing him.
I like the McIlvain kid from Vanderbilt.
I do too.
I feel like he may get some opportunities, more opportunities.
I think he can. Yeah, I think he can too. Big, strong, physical guy that, they haven't really stretched him out this year though, and that's been the thing that he's gone 2 innings a couple of times, but they really haven't stretched him out this year like I thought they would have. He threw Sunday, so bouncing back last night, maybe an inning or so. Like he's throwing a midweek bullpen, getting ready, based on his weekly calendar. But coming into this weekend, McIlvain 0.68 ERA, but he's only thrown 13 innings in 7 appearances. So I would have figured he would have been way up there in terms of number of innings that they have right now. That's under Peyton Lee. Obviously, he's had some starts that drive his inning count up, but he's behind Eves, McGuire, Parker Coyle. He's about 6th on the number of innings pitched out of the bullpen right now. And he's been your most effective outside of Gibbler.
How about closer? Who's been in that position for the most part, and how are you feeling about closer?
Yeah, they really don't have one. I think you got guys that are going to finish games based on when they're doing, because they're having to stretch their closers out for multiple innings. And like they did with Cole Gibbler the other day. Let's see if he can get the last 3 innings. Ideally, you want your starter to be able to go more. You have a bridge guy like a Parker Coyle, and then you have a righty-lefty matchup. So the 3 guys that come to mind are Eves, McIlvain, and Gibbler. So you got 3 guys that could be potential closers for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday spot, depending on where you're at in the weekend and, what you're facing in terms of a righty-dominant lineup or lefty-dominant lineup is what you want to have in those situations. So you really don't have, because they don't have a big 6'5", 260, 250 guy down there. It's just muscled up righty throwing 103 miles per hour. They don't have that guy. McIlvain's the closest one, but he's lefty and he's 96, 97 on the high end. You don't have that, typical Mason Miller come in and just throw gas and throw 92 mile per hour cutter sliders, and they'll just run away from righties. So you got to be smart about it. You got to plan for it. They've got guys, but they've got guys that they're having to use for 2 or 3 innings, and that may tax them at the end of the year if they're not careful.
On the bright side of things, if hopefully Micah New is able to play this weekend with the strep throat, but
Yep.
I thought Christian Turner, man, what a breakout game for him. They're going to need him out in left field, and I think last night was very encouraging and should be great for the freshman's confidence.
Yeah, and coming into the season, he was that 4th outfielder that, might have should have started, in place of Damian Ruiz, but Ruiz, claimed the spot. They were going against the lefty in that first matchup against Oklahoma State, so Ruiz got the nod, and but Turner, had that 3-run home run last night, his first of the year, and they've been wanting to get him innings and get him reps, and now that he's forced to play, it's going to be really good for him. It was weird looking at 2 freshmen in the outfield last night, the way it happened. But it's good for him. Dave Van Horn is going to have to replace just about every starter in the lineup next year. Okay, they're either going to be in the draft or they're going to graduate. So getting these young guys time now is a really good thing. I was posed the question this morning: is Dave Van Horn tired of it? Is he tired of trying to flip over a roster every year and matching the specific type of characteristics that they want in a player to come to the University of Arkansas? And they're looking to, and if you look down the road and you're starting to build and get these young guys ready to go for the next year and looking ahead, but they have to play for now and get guys ready. And unfortunately, it's young guys that they're having to get ready right now instead of, 2nd or 3rd year guys that have either been in the program or transferred to the program.
Got Kevin Bohannon with us, hawgsports.com. He's on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. What do you think's going on with Aloy?
He cannot pick up spin on any breaking balls. Okay, so I didn't see him for 4 or 5 games while I was gone. And when I came back and I saw him last night, they closed his stance off even more. So he's looking like to right center as he's lined up. They're thinking that's going to close him off a little bit and keep him on the ball longer. But the way his front shoulder and everything flies open, he cannot cover the outer third of the plate. So it's easy. I mean, you could throw fastballs on the outer third. And I'm not talking on the black or a little bit out. I'm talking outer third, over the plate, just on the outside quadrant. He cannot touch those pitches because he's pulling off the ball and he's flying open. That head goes open and everything else follows. But that front shoulder is going to dictate where your swing path goes on everything. And with him, everything is going left. He's getting very rotational in terms of how he's doing everything. So he's not driving everything up the middle. You want to start up the middle and then break off, whether it be outside pitch going to right field, inside pitch going to left field. But he's not even getting to that point to where he can hit it back up the middle. Everything is to the pull side. So scouting reports out on him. He's not going to surprise people this year. I mean, that 15-game hitting streak to begin the season is so far in the rearview mirror that he's on an island right now by himself. He needs to sit a couple of games, watch, because any adjustments to approach that they've made it hasn't seemed to work so far.
Is that something he can fix, or is it up to the coaches to say this is what we see and this is what we feel like you need to do to fix it?
Yeah, he should be able to fix it himself because he feels it. As a hitter, just like a pitcher with feel, a hitter has feel as well, okay? This is what my swing's doing. If you are very in tune with your swing and what it is doing and where there's a hole in it, think back to Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck, you have a hole in your swing. He's got a huge hole in his swing right now, and it's that outer third. So what do? You stay on the ball longer. There are drills to fix that. Nate Thompson has implemented those drills with him 100 times. They work soft toss on the outside, staying on the ball. He just has to do it. It's a muscle memory thing. He's got to get in the habit of not flying open, and it may take a little time, but it's one of those things that you work at, and you can figure it out. Time's just running short for him, though.
Yeah, I feel like we'll see Rutenbar at the DH this weekend, or at least the first couple of games, and maybe get him out of the outfield, maybe not play him out in left field. And
that was a tough situation last night because it led to 3 unearned runs, and tough situation, but that's where they were at last night.
Mm-hmm. But I think that, they've got a bat to replace Aloy right now with Rutenbar, and they need him at the top of the lineup because I like how he gets on base. Heck, he scored 3 runs last night, so I feel like that's a luxury they have. They could set Aloy and be okay against Auburn.
Yeah, and he battles in the box. Like you said, he scored 3 runs last night, drew a couple of walks, can foul off pitches. Is he still a freshman? Yeah, he's still a freshman. He's going to run into issues and run into trouble now and then, but he's got a very advanced bat for what he does, and being as athletic as he is makes him marketable to play different positions. If it doesn't work out at catcher, maybe somewhere else, but I think he's good enough to play, to be the catcher for the University of Arkansas next year, and that bat that's going to play as well.
Kevin, I haven't seen the defensive backs play at all, but I'm a lot more encouraged after listening to the press conference on Monday with with Coach Hicks and D. Wilson, Coach D. Will, and the players. I feel like, man, maybe they got a little something going on in the backfield.
Yeah, they moved Kamori House from linebacker to nickel spot, and you and I talked about this earlier on. That what's Christian Harrison going to do? Well, Christian Harrison turns out has played everywhere.
Yeah,
he's played nickel, he's played safety, he played corner. So they talked about bringing in 4-dimensional guys, and I thought this was really interesting because I haven't really heard that term before. I've heard of athletic guys that check all the boxes and 5-tool guys in baseball and everything. But 4-dimensional secondary guys is something I really hadn't heard too much of. So what does that mean? Okay, A, it's know your position. B, it's know your partner's position in the secondary. C, it's knowing the whole defenses where each position is supposed to be on a given play. And then D is like having your PhD in football defense. It's knowing what your defense is supposed to do against every set, every play, every motion. It's knowing everything. That's when you become an elite football player and you get drafted high enough to make lots and lots of money and set your family up for life. That's the kind of player they want in the secondary. And I put so much of an emphasis on that because that's something we haven't heard. If y'all think back to the defensive press conferences over the last few years, have we heard outside of, we want somebody tall, athletic that can, has good hips? No, that's really about the extent of what they've wanted out of a defensive back. But now they're peeling back the onion on their expectations and what they're wanting to get out of the portal. Guys that they've gotten, Nakai Rowland, B. Lee, Kamori House, Christian Harrison, they've gotten some really good guys that I think, will fit in that 4-dimensional role that they expect their secondary to be. And, giving up over 240 yards is hopefully a thing of the past with that secondary.
Yeah, it's still tough because we have no idea how these guys can play, but at least they're talking a good game and they're making a lot of sense. And it's like kind of like you said, they went into the weeds with their explanation of what they're looking for and what they're trying to do. And I liked it when he said basically you can't have a guy just play one position anymore. He's got to be able to play all the positions, whether it's safety, free safety, corner, boundary, whatever. They need to know everything.
That's right. And if you know that, rotations become like a symphony or a waltz or anything. Everything looks like poetry in motion out there. So, when a guy comes in motion across and you have to shift and the nickel comes down to play man up and the safety has to roll over the top, everything is just in line and in step, and it looks like, there's not many communication breakdowns at that point. You're still going to have some communication breakdowns because it's a human element to it, but it decreases how many times that will happen in a game in a season.
Real quick, Kevin, we got to go, but I just saw on the D3 Auto Sales hotline, or the Middleton Heat and Air text line, ask Kevin if he thinks Steele is not changing speeds as well as he did earlier in the year. You think that's the issue?
It could be. They're wanting him to, and the sinking fastball that Steele's got has not been sinking, so he needs to get in the lab and figure out why that ball is staying up more. He is best when he's staying mid-thigh and down. Mm-hmm. So if he can stay mid-thigh and down, the strikeout at the end of inning last night was vintage Steele Eves right there. So I agree with the caller's comment right there. Yeah, get in the lab, figure it out, keep that ball down.
Thanks, K-Bo. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys, thanks.
It's Kevin Bohannon with us, hogsports.com on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. We'll take a break. And we'll wrap this hour up when we come back. It's Out of Bounds.
Experience the unmistakable difference today at D3 Auto Sales in Des Arc. D3 Auto Sales is your home for quality used trucks, SUVs, and cars from all the top brands, specializing in unique custom lifted and leveled used trucks, including four-wheel drives. And this commitment to excellence extends to their full-service 10-bay service department as well. Also looking to trade in or sell your vehicle? D3 Auto always pays top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. D3AutoSales.com.
Arkansas, your moment has arrived. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Southland Casino, is officially live in your state. Now you can make every matchup even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, player props, and more, all from your phone. It's safe, secure, and easy to use. And to get things started, new Arkansas customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, just non-stop action. Powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 1037THEBUZZ. New Arkansas customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 1037THEBUZZ. The crown is yours. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Southland Casino. Gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700. 21 and over. Arkansas only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Out of Bounds Hotline on 1037 The Buzz is presented by D3 Auto Sales, Arkansas's #1 independent used car dealership, specializing in level and lifted trucks. D3AutoSales.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 501-382-9100. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 501-382-9100. That's 501-382-9100.
When it comes to your home's electrical system, peace of mind matters. At Staley Electric, we've got you covered with Staley Shield, the membership that gives you protection, savings, and safety year-round. As a member, you'll enjoy exclusive discounts, priority scheduling, no emergency service fees, and an annual electrical safety check, all from the electricians you know and trust. Join the Shield today at StaleyElectric.com. That's StaleyElectric.com, and power your home with peace of mind.
The 22nd annual Double B's BuzzBBQ is coming up May 9th at the downtown Riverside RV Park in North Little Rock. Sample barbecue from some of the best barbecue cooks in Arkansas, competing for the coveted BuzzBBQ Grand Champion Trophy. The 22nd annual Double B's BuzzBBQ, May 9th, brought to you by Oaklawn Sports, Bud Light, and Finch Brokers. Get your tickets at BuzzBBQ.com.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Out of Bounds on 1037 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios.
Yo, remember back on the bully when cats used to harmonize like... Yo. My men and my...
Back at it, finishing up the hour. I'm also finishing up our schedule for tomorrow, Joe. We found out, got to confirm that we're not on the air Friday. We're taking off for Good Friday. I didn't realize that until just about 30 minutes ago. So pleasant little surprise for us. I mean, I love our job, and I love coming on the air and talking sports with y'all, but you know, if they're going to give us a day off, I'm going to take advantage of it and start my Easter weekend a little earlier. So I'm trying to move our normal guest, from Friday to Thursday. And we may have – and that's tomorrow. Trying to get Brian Edwards to check. Got to hear from Brian, right? Got to get some Final Four picks. National championship game coming up Monday.
Oh, it's going to be a big weekend for sure.
I told you the big money bracket I'm in, it's down to me or my brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Just realized we're going to be together for Easter, watching the game together. I told him, you know what? We should hedge our bets. I mean, we know we're going to win. One of us is going to win, right? And so you could take half that money that you're going to win and place a bet on the other team to win.
Yeah, you could do that.
He's like, what? That
He's
takes away
like,
the fun.
He's like, no, this is winner take all.
That's it. I was like, well, we could split the pot.
He's like, nope. This is competition
It
at
is.
its best.
And I'm like, all right, I like it. Let's go. We'll stick with my pick. See if Michigan can't get it done.
That means he feels confident in Arizona.
Oh, he does. Coming up in the second hour, we got the Razor Hog update. Then Anthony Christensen will join us from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Talk some Razorback basketball with him. Also, a guy hit on the McDonald's All-Star game. That was fun. It's good to see JJ. JJ, the leading scorer at the half, had 10 first-half points. Jordan Smith, good player. Future's bright for Arkansas basketball. Kyle Sutherland also coming up at 2:30. So a packed second hour. Stick around. Hour number 2's next.
Chevy Retail Group presents Kevin Bohannon each week on Drive Time Sports with Randy Rainwater and Rick Schaefer on 103.7 The Buzz. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
To celebrate their partnership with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, your Arkansas Chevy dealers are giving away a 2027 Chevy Silverado 1500. For complete rules and to register to win, current Arkansas Game and Fish license holders should visit ChevySweepstakes.com/Arkansas Truck Hunt or see your Arkansas's best Chevy dealer for more details. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents 18 years or older who reside in Arkansas. Contest ends 12/31/26. Void where prohibited.
I'm Dr. Lowry Barnes. When it comes to orthopedic care, there's no place like the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. We built this hospital just for you. With state-of-the-art surgical suites, advanced technology, and the state's largest group of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons. It's the best place in Arkansas to get you moving again. And if you need urgent orthopedic care, UAMS Ortho Now is right here for you at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, where motion lives and service leads.
This is Chuck Barrett inviting you to listen to me call the Hogs on 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock.
The Razorbacks are coming at you.
Buzz News with KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
The results are in for primary election runoffs across Arkansas. It was a very tight race in the Republican primary for Arkansas Secretary of State. State Senator Kim Hammer wins the nomination, edging Brian Norris by fewer than 1,000 votes. Hammer will face Democrat Kelly Grapp in November. And State Representative Tara Shepard wins the Democratic nomination for State Senator for District 15, representing parts of Little Rock. There is no Republican in this race. And attorney Ephraim Neely defeats incumbent Jefferson County Judge Gerald Robinson for the Democratic nomination with nearly 3/4 of the vote. The winner will face Republican nominee Nathaniel Todd in November. And for Saline County Sheriff Dustin Robertson wins the Republican nomination, defeating Richard Friend. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
It's going to be another warm day. We'll get up to 85 here in Little Rock with a partly cloudy sky, plus kind of windy and gusty. Winds may gust as high as 25 miles per hour. But a high of 85 today, tonight a low of 67, mostly cloudy, then a 40% chance of rain showers tomorrow and a high of 80. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Are you hungry? Something new, $25, all you can eat, sushi rolls, soup, salad, Benihana rice. Come at Benihana's Monday through Thursday.
What's on tap? Brought to you by Flyway Brewing. It's always open season at Flyway Brewing, serving 2 Central Arkansas locations, North Little Rock, and now open in Breckenridge Village. Check out current promotions at flywaybrewing.com. Flyway Brewing. Follow the migration. We encourage you to wet your beak responsibly.
Hey,
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours or just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
Attention Arkansas homeowners. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is looking for 50 homes to participate in our Spring Into Savings event. The first 50 homeowners will receive test market pricing on a beautiful new walk-in shower. Bath Makeover is proud to be an official sponsor of Razorback Athletics, and we're looking to evaluate our exciting new product lines in real bathroom conditions, including our revolutionary laser-etched shower wall system. That's right, you'll be compensated for your time just to determine if our exquisite product lines are the right fit for your bathroom project. The first 50 homeowners who call 1-800-NEW-BATH will receive 50% off installation of a new walk-in shower. Ask about 0% interest financing, senior and military discounts, receive a $200 gas card with purchase, and call Bath Makeover at 1-800-NEW-BATH now to receive a $50 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call 1-800-NEW-BATH. That's 1-800-NEWBATH.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with David Dennis Jr.
These teams do not like each other. The storylines are there. Wemby wants to crush Chet Holmgren's skull between his hands every time that they go against each other. Wemby has gone out and said, I deserve MVP, and everybody's clapping for Wemby, and I get it. I get that's a great thing that he said for the competitiveness. But you're pointing to SGA when you say that. You're saying, I deserve MVP. You're saying SGA does not deserve MVP. SGA hears this. Add in the fact that was the most intense midseason tournament game that we have ever seen between the Thunder and the Spurs, that they were going at it. I cannot wait if these two teams meet up in the conference finals, but it'll be the first of many if they do, and the championships that you're going to have for the next decade are going to go through either OKC or San Antonio.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right, it's time for your Razor Hog update. Arkansas has made their way to Auburn at a late night, early morning after a loss last night. There was some positives, like Cam Kozel. He's hitting the ball well. Had a grand slam last night.
Well, he did it with 2 strikes. I think it was a 1-2 count, and he threw him 2 breaking balls, threw him a fastball, and then came back with another break ball and hit it out of the park. It was a really good swing. Obviously, we went from 2 down to 2 up with 9 outs to get, and we didn't get it.
Christian Turner, the freshman from Houghton, Louisiana, also played well.
Oh, I thought Christian played great. I mean, he lined out to left in one of the at-bats, but he had a double and a couple of singles, and I thought he hit the ball hard 4 times. So really good to see.
Now it's the road trip. Well, it continues. 3 games in Auburn, come back, play Little Rock midweek, and then back out on the road to Alabama.
Well, I don't see it as scary, and I don't want the players to feel that way either. This is just a game. I see it as an opportunity to go play on the road and play some good teams and get some wins and get better. Like I said, there's 21 conference games left, and all of our, midweek games are, you got Missouri State a couple times, you got Little Rock, I think Northwestern State. These are teams that can beat you, and they want to beat you bad. We don't have any so-called, games where we can just put a bunch of different guys out there and experiment. We're going to have to play well to win. So we don't have anything in front of us that we can really go, okay, that'll be easier. And a lot of times when you think that way, you get beat anyway. So, we started talking about what we had going forward. Oh gosh, right after the game last weekend. We got Florida, then we're going on the road for everywhere, for a couple of weeks, and this is going to be a tough stretch. We need to find a way.
Now let's talk with Trey Schapp also. Women's golf. Jose Marine is 7 under at the Masters for the championship for the women. They're playing Augusta National. Bogey-free round, 7 under. And she is, last check, still in the lead. So keep an eye on her this weekend for see if she can't win that prestigious women's tournament. I was also looking softball. Had the news yesterday. We let you know the news about Dakota Kennedy and being the National Player of the Year for softball. Seeing what any other updates. Nope, that is it. We'll talk some more Razorback news with Anthony Christensen, Hogs beat writer for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette and WholeHogSports.com. McDonald's All-Star game last night. If you didn't watch it, no, that's not the highlights of it. It's NBA. But Sean Andrews' son, J.J. Andrews, had quite a nice performance, had 12 points, 10 in the first half. And, his West team won, by the way. And if he'd have gotten some more looks in the second half, he would have been the MVP of the All-Star game. But a very good game from J.J. and also from Jordan Smith. He played well last night, led the East in scoring. And I think watching it, you saw he's not a true point guard. He is but he's a guard. He's probably the 2 guard. He could be developed into a point guard. But I like what I saw from both of those guys. Let's bring in Anthony Christensen from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Did you watch the All-Star game? What'd you think?
I was actually covering the baseball game last night. I was in Springfield, but I was keeping up with it. And, I just heard what you said about Jordan Smith. And, obviously, I would agree he seems to be more of a combo guard / shooting guard. And, I think, I went back and watched some of the highlights as well, and I think that you saw that. But I think that, especially as you've seen him grow throughout this year, his senior year of high school, I think that you've seen him, develop a lot more as a distributor. So I think, there might be a point guard in there, but he can do so many things. And I mean, there's a reason that he's, the number 2, overall prospect in his class. So yeah, he's an exciting one. And then, J.J. Andrews obviously as well. I thought he had his moments as well, based on what I saw. And he's big, he's physical. He looks like he's a guy who's ready to step in and play in some big moments. So yeah, I think, based on what we saw in that game, and I mean, based on what I saw, obviously, because I was covering baseball as well. But I thought that we saw some things to be excited about for sure. If you're looking at it from an Arkansas perspective.
Jordan Smith can shoot it, and what stands out about him is his speed. He can get to the ball, whether on that offensive offensive or defensive end. He can get in the passing lanes, playing defense, but once he gets the ball in his hands, he's flying up and down the court. He has a lot of speed.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I think that, for as good as he is on the offensive end, I think that, he's almost as good on the defensive end. Obviously this is, we'll see how it translates to the college level, but, when, he's as good of a prospect as he is, you would expect it to. But yeah, I think that you see that, how fast he is, how aggressive he is on, as an on-ball defender, how he gets into the passing lane, how he reads the game really well on both ends of the floor. A guy who, really can, break down defenses and break down offenses on the other end. So I think that, obviously you saw that in his highlights. You've seen that, just kind of throughout his senior year of high school. And when you talk to people who, are, be that, scouts, guys who are, NBA draft aficionados, they'll say a lot of the same things, right? Like he's got, a college-ready build, I think, and, I think he's also just a really, really smart basketball player as well. And I think you see that with how he reads passing lanes, how he gets in there, how he deflects passes, and how his distribution has really improved a lot, I think, over his senior year. So I think that's all very obviously exciting. So,
Anthony, a few players in the game last night undecided: Tyron Stokes, Brandon McCoy Jr., and Darius Bivens. Do you know if Arkansas is in on any of those guys?
I don't for sure, but I think Arkansas is pretty happy with its incoming freshman class. Tyron Stokes, obviously he's the number one guy in the class, and he's got a lot of guys on edge, trying to see where he's going to go, and it kind of seems like it's going to be either Kansas or Kentucky. Maybe a little bit more. I don't really know where it seems to be like it's landing, because every time I read about it, it seems like it's tilted a little bit. But yeah, as for the other guys, I haven't heard anything with regard to them. And I think Arkansas is kind of happy with the three freshmen they've got coming in. Obviously, J.J. Andrews, Jordan Smith, and Abdi Toure. I think they're happy with that freshman class, and I think they would like to get into the transfer portal for any additional additions. But yeah, I can't say for certain one way or another whether Arkansas is going to try to add one more freshman especially from that group. But I would be a little surprised if Arkansas kind of came up for any of those guys, especially with how kind of late in the cycle it is for high school recruiting.
I sat down and had some drinks in California with some California high school basketball insiders, and they were telling me about Stokes, and they said that they fully expect him to go to Kentucky. That I didn't realize he's from Kentucky and just had moved out there and was playing ball out there, but they fully expected him to go to Kentucky. And
Brandon also McCoy, very fun to watch.
Yeah, Brandon McCoy is the one that they talked about quite a bit because he is that true point guard.
McCoy,
and he's 6'4".
Had an offer from Arkansas at one point, and that was somebody they were in the running with. I don't know how serious it is right now, though. Going back to this Razorback roster, who do you expect? Do you have a feel for who will come back?
Yeah, I think it's obviously everything's going to be a little up in the air with the way the transfer portal works nowadays. I think that the most intriguing name of potential returners would be Malik Thomas, because you don't know where he's going to grade out in the NBA draft process if he chooses to go through and test it, which you'd think he would, just given how successful he was this year and how he's kind of graded out as a prospect in the past. But when you look at preliminary draft grades, it's late first, early second, and a lot of those guys are the ones who are debating whether or not to come back to college. Excuse me. And so he's an interesting one. But then if he does decide to go through the draft process and say he has a really good draft process as well, you could see him boost his stock a lot. I mean, I think you saw that a lot with Cedric Howard last year. He was originally committed to play for Duke out of the transfer portal, but then going through the draft process, he became a lottery pick. So, I'm not saying that's going to be what happens, but, it's something that could happen, right? So I think that he's probably the most intriguing name to keep an eye on. Mainly because I think in just about any other year, I don't really think it would be a question, just because of how good he is and how young he is and how exciting of a prospect he is. But, with how deep and how talented this draft class is, it becomes more of a question. So I think he's going to be one with, it's going to be an intriguing, I guess, story to watch play out. And then, I don't really know that I see, or that I think there's going to be a ton of departures. I think John Calipari and the staff really like the core guys that they've got. So I think they would like to keep those guys around. I think Richmond's a guy I could also see testing the draft waters, but I don't think he's a guy who would grade out with the first-round grade in this particular draft class. So I'd be pretty surprised if he was not at Arkansas next season. And I think that especially with how they wanted to keep that core together after last season, I would expect some of the same as well. So I think that's just kind of, I guess, the stories that I'm kind of looking to watch as the offseason progresses with regard to roster retention.
You see any players possibly leaving that maybe they don't feel like this may be the best situation for them and they want to get to a different situation?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's we don't get the access to talk to them a ton, and when we do, it was after the Arizona game, and obviously that's not going to be the time that any of them really want to discuss the future. And it's kind of a tough situation because you kind of have to ask the question, but you kind of know that they're going to be like, we're going to figure that out later. So I think the intriguing one, I think DJ Wagner is a story that I'm kind of intrigued by, because obviously his grandfather and Kenny Payne played together at Louisville, and his father played for John Calipari, and obviously he's been with John Calipari for his whole college career. And without really a true point guard on the roster aside from him, kind of entering next season, I think there's a good opportunity for him to be on the ball more and kind of take on that role if that's what he wants. And I think that is something to monitor. But like I said, I think just based on vibes and just kind of the conversations I've kind of gathered, I think that they would like to keep this roster together. I think they want to retain guys, but like I also said, you never really truly know in the transfer portal era until I guess the ink is dried on guys on guys deciding to come back or depart. So I think that's I think there's all of that to say, there's a lot of intriguing things to look at, and I'm expecting them to really try to retain this kind of roster core that they've got, and kind of build around what they already have on the roster, and with the freshmen they've got coming in.
We got Anthony Christensen with us, the Hogs reporter for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, WholeHogSports.com. Anthony, any big guys you've seen saying they're going to enter the portal that you kind of like and you think Arkansas should make a run at?
Yeah, I think the one that immediately jumps off the page is Samto Cyril from Georgia. He's committed to play for John Calipari, and that staff at Kentucky for a bit before he decided to go off to Georgia. And he's an elite level rim protector. He's a productive offensive player. He's got those connections, and and it was announced that he was going to be entering the portal, and I think it's easy to draw that connection, right? And obviously, he had a really big game when Arkansas played down there in Athens this year. I think he finished with 8 blocks, which is just an obscene number. But he's a really good defensive presence on both, or not both ends, but on the defensive end, he's, like I said, an elite level rim protector. He's productive on the offensive end. Can get into foul trouble a little bit, but that's something I think that can be worked on and all of that. And I think he's the one who stands out immediately. When you look at the guys who have kind of announced their intentions to enter the portal and all of that, just because he has those connections. And but then there's also the pair from St. Mary's who you'd probably expect to follow Randy Bennett to Arizona State, but they're at least worth kicking the tires on. Andrew McKeever and Paulius Morauskas. Apologies for fumbling the name there for a little bit, but obviously two really good big men who, Morauskas especially, he has the ability to step out and hit shots as well, even at his size. So, and then there's some others, there's Mohammad from Eastern Michigan, who had a really productive freshman season, playing for Stan Heath there actually. So kind of maybe a loose connection to Arkansas, but there's some, but I think the one that you immediately see jump off the page, it has to be Santos Aril, just because of the connections he already has with the Arkansas staff.
How many big guys would you like to see them get?
I mean, that's a good question. I think they definitely need reinforcements. Obviously Nick Bringle and Trevin Brazil both exhausting their eligibility. Malik Ewan, you kind of think would be coming back, but obviously he's played. I believe he played 4 years of college basketball. Yeah, 2 at Florida State, 1 JUCO, and then 1 at Ole Miss. And then obviously that a lot of times the JUCO eligibility is being given back, so you would think that they would like to retain him. But I think that you would at least want to get 2 guys. So you have at least a 3 big man rotation. So Ewan and then plus 2. I think that would probably be a good number, and I think you probably want to get some versatility in your bigs. Obviously, Ewan is a guy who you can play as a bit of a point forward role. Obviously, a guy who's really athletic, can move really well for a guy his size. Say, just hypothetically, that they get Cyril in, and obviously he's an elite level rim protector who is productive on the offensive end as well, and then get a guy like Morauskas in, or somebody like him, who has that shooting range and is really just has a really nice touch and is a productive defender as well, as you need to be when you're playing for Randy Bennett. So, but obviously those are like I said, just hypotheticals, and you don't know until you know. So, yeah, I think that if you're asking for my ideal front court, it would be probably 2 more additions plus keeping Ewan, but also guys who have different skill sets. You have that versatility on both ends of the floor.
How do you feel about Elmer Jaffic and Paolo Semedo as far as development guys, and maybe them being a year older, developed, and possibly contributing this next season coming up?
Yeah, Elmer Jaffic is he's not the most athletic guy, but he's a guy who he's got a lot of size, and he got into some games, obviously late in the game, in some blowouts, but then was kind of forced into it, in that Alabama game. So he's a guy who got some minutes this year. He's not, like I said, the most athletic guy, but he's got some decent touch around the rim, got a little bit of a floater. As much, how much do I expect him to be, a contributor next season? That's, I don't think that I would expect him to be, a huge contributor, just based on, what I've seen and everything like that. But, who's to say he can't be, and who's to say he can't develop into that? If of course he decides to stick around. And then, Paolo Semedo, I think he's the intriguing one. Because he is, he's got a lot of size. He's athletic. He's really long, kind of a little skinny, but obviously, he'll get, obviously again, if they all parties decide that it's best for him to stay, I think you get him into a full off season, because like we mentioned last year, he was a late addition, and you get him a full off season of development, working with the team and everything like that. I would think he's probably the guy who is more likely to develop into a contributor. From those two. But yeah, I mean, he's the one I'm certainly more intrigued by from that pair for sure.
Level of concern for the baseball team?
Last night was actually the first game that I've covered. Obviously, that I've been keeping up with everything, and obviously they're on a 4-game skid at the moment. So obviously that is probably some level of concern, and obviously there is that. But, I was talking to Matt Jones, obviously our main baseball guy at wholehogsports.com, and, he says that, he is concerned about, where things stand right now. And, I think it's easy to see why. Right? They scored a lot of runs against Missouri State, but they also obviously conceded a lot of runs. And midweek games can be a little wild like that, but then, you can lose and play well, and I'm not sure that I've really been seeing them lose and play well of late. And obviously, there's still, I think, time to turn things around and, get back to, where they want to be. But, as of right now, I'd certainly say there's, a decent level of concern there.
Anthony, we appreciate it. Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me. Always enjoy hopping on.
Anthony Christian, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, wholehogsports.com. We'll continue the Razorback conversation with Kyle Sutherland. He'll join us when we come back, hogsports.com. Found a guy in the portal, thanks to JW. We'll discuss him, too, a little later in the show. Think you're on to something, JW. Like this guy. I also got a story about Sean Andrews. Ugh. Not on my good list right now. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888 for Rainwater Holton Sexton. They'll help you weather the storm.
This is SportsCenter.
Razorback baseball is now 19-11 overall on the year, losing their fourth consecutive game ahead of this weekend's series at 18th-ranked Auburn. The Razorbacks were walked off by Missouri State's Caden Bogenpol in the bottom of the 10th inning. Bogenpol hit a walk-off home run 419 feet to left field against freshman right-hander Peyton Lee, giving the Bears a 15-14 victory over the Hogs. The Razorbacks and Bears will meet again in Fayetteville on Tuesday, April 21st. The Razorbacks will begin their weekend road series at Auburn tomorrow night. And some NBA scores from last night: the Magic beat the Suns 115-111. The Pistons beat the Raptors 127-116. The Rockets beat the Knicks 111-94. And the Lakers beat the Cavaliers 127-113. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
What drives you? Family moments, new adventures, or just the love of the open road? Whatever it is, Gwatney Chevrolet is here to help you get there. For generations, we've been more than a dealership. We've been part of life's milestones, big and small. With a team that puts you first and a car buying experience that's easy and stress-free, we're here to find the perfect vehicle for what drives you. Visit us in Jacksonville or online at GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Yep, that's the sounds of all my friends and another great deck party of mine. And what do you not hear? That's right, no mosquitoes. That's because Sanders Ground Essential provides me with a monthly mosquito barrier spray. Call them at 315-9395 or on the web at sandersground.com.
Willie D's Dueling Pianos has not moved yet. They're still rocking right here in the Little Rock River Market. Dueling Pianos upstairs, DJs downstairs with food and drinks every week. Reserve and learn more at WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Come and get your Willie on.
FanDuel, in partnership with Oaklawn Sports, is now available in Arkansas. With FanDuel, you can get in on college hoops action any night of the week. Because Oaklawn Sports, powered by FanDuel, has all your favorite college basketball bets, from points to rebounds to which team you think is going to win. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. And for a limited time, new Arkansas customers get started with $300 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So just visit FanDuel.com/Arkansas to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Arkansas to get started with $300 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 bet. Play your game with FanDuel, now available in Arkansas. 21 plus and present in Arkansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued at non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Justin Acre with big news from Standing Firm Farms in Greenbrier. They now have brisket burgers, and they're hands down some of the best you can buy. With Standing Firm Farms, they raise single-source, high-end Angus beef, grass or grain-fed. And they're also a ground beef supplier for local restaurants, trusted for quality and consistency. Check out their steak, burger, or brisket burger bundle boxes online at standingfirmfarms.com with free delivery to your doorstep in most cases. It's local family beef for the natural state. Standing Firm Farms.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
Over on the Middleton Heat and Air text line, JW says Arkansas needs to come up, go get this guy. It was Kwame Evans from Oregon. I was like, all right, let me look him up. So Kwame Evans out of Oregon is indicated he's going to enter the portal. Last year, this 6'10 power forward, 6'10", 220, averaged 13 points, 7 rebounds a game. I was looking, freshman year played 30 games. Played about, let's see here, minutes. Where'd it go? Played about 22 minutes a game as a freshman. Then sophomore year, playing time went down a little bit, 16 minutes a game. But this past year, 30 starts, almost 31 minutes a game, averages 13 and 7. His last few games were really nice too. Guys had several double-doubles. I like it, JW.
Be useful.
Yeah, 6'10", 220, power forward, a true power forward. Shoots the three a little bit, around 30% from the three-point line. Not great. What was it? Yeah, 30.4. That's what they're looking for. Some guys play a little defense, bring a little size, some rebounding. They could do worse. Let's bring in Kyle Sutherland from hogbeat.com. What's up, Kyle? How are you?
What's going on, guys? Doing fantastic. How are y'all?
Just studying the portal, getting ready for next Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that's been a constant conversation on our message boards on hogbeat.com. And man, Jackson Collier, he's always all over it for us. That's been, other than the baseball struggles and a little bit of spring practice mixed in, of course, as well. That's been the main topic of conversation for us.
Sorry, I said hog sport. It's hogbeat.com. My bad.
Hey, man, no, I get it. It happens. It happens to everybody every day.
Hey, what about the kid from Georgia, Cyril? You like him? You think that's a target?
Yeah. Well, I think he's definitely a target. I mean, of course, I haven't heard anything concrete as of now, but, I mean, I even remember dating back, because I actually went to the game in Athens back in January, and I remember even back then people were talking about, man, I'd love to get this guy to hit the portal. It's looking like it possibly could, which I don't know where the intel came from at that point. But I was very impressed with what he's done, not just in that game, but just overall what he did throughout the season. And, I mean, it kind of, a lot of it's going to depend on, like, as far as who you get from the portal and everything, like what Malik Ewan does and all that. I know he released something on Twitter that announcement could be coming soon over on his Instagram page. And so I feel really good about the 1 through 3 spots as far as Jordan Smith and all those guys that are coming in. But, I mean, I think that's where everybody's wanting to know is what are you going to do right under the basket at the 5. And Cyril would be obviously a great addition there. But kind of what they do in those spots with the bigs is a lot of that, I'm sure will depend on what happens with Malik Ewan.
As far as the freshmen, did you get to watch them last night, JJ and Jordan Smith?
I have because the baseball game was I was covering the baseball game, and Daniel Fair was covering the McDonald's All-American game for us. So I did see the highlights. I did see some of it on mute. Was very impressed. It's really to see not just one future Razorback, but two doing really good things on the big stage. And so, I did get to see a little bit of it, but definitely saw the highlights.
Yeah, they look like they can come in and play. I think they'll
no doubt
play as freshmen, and I like Torre too. Yeah. I think he'll play for them also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it sure would be nice to have Billy Richmond back too. They kind of remind me of Torre and JJ. Remind me a little bit of Billy Richmond, but I'd like to have the real thing too.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
More players that bring that to the table, intensity on both ends of the court. That's what you need. You could use more.
Yeah,
than one
the
of those
1
guys.
through 3 spots, I think they're going to be completely fine. I'm not worried about that whatsoever. And you think about Billy Richmond, it might be a little bit before and Jackson Collier wrote a piece for us on this. I guess we published it on Monday. Talked about like with Billy Richmond and how things. It might be a little bit longer before we figure out things with him because he's going to go through the draft process and everything. So it's a lot of fun to figure out what I call these puzzle pieces. I think I said it with you guys back when we were talking about football in January. Like it's a lot of. Obviously very, very busy, and your brain hurts, but it's just so fun putting all the pieces together because, like I was saying, it really just depends on who's going to be gone to figure out exactly like who you're going to really be. But Surreal should definitely be the prime target, no question, out of the gate.
Kyle, first step may be to figure out who's actually leaving. Like if there are some players that are thinking about hitting the portal, that would be the first step there. And I mean, right now we don't know what to expect from that standpoint, but once that happens, then you kind of get a domino effect of, okay, we know that these guys are in the portal. Now we can look at portal and replace the needs there as B.
Yeah, no question. And I think probably the two names that I've been hearing at least the most of is like, what will Carter Knox do? I mean, obviously he doesn't really have a whole lot of draft stock right now, not just because he was out for so long, but he just didn't play that well for the most part when he was on the floor this year. I mean, I think since February, he played one game. So that's one that you look at. Isaiah Seeley, I've heard. I mean, most of what I have been hearing, Wes, I'm not sure what Joe, like what y'all have been, but everything that I have been getting, it seems like Seeley is coming back. Now, if next year goes kind of similar to how this year goes, then he probably will move on. But by all accounts, what I have been hearing, as it is here on April 1st, no fools intended here, but it looks like he is going to be coming back. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think that's kind of the two that I've been having the most conversations with lately is Carter. Well, I mean, on top of like the Malik Ewins and what's going to happen there, it seems like most are in the middle when it comes to Seeley and Carter Knox, but I'm leaning more towards for sure Seeley coming back.
Got Kyle Sutherland with us, hogbeat.com. Kyle, Razorback baseball, how concerned are you with what you're seeing?
I'm become a lot more concerned with the pitching and more so than the hitting because obviously last night you scored 14 runs, so it obviously wasn't the offense. I mean, that first inning, I was like, oh, here we go again because you walk your first three batters and then you load the bases. I think they loaded them twice, if I'm not mistaken, and they only got one run out of that. But the offense did for the most part fine. You still got some guys, obviously, that are struggling. It's not like last year when you felt like 1 through 9 was just going to get a home run or an extra base hit or something like that. But I think you look at what Sousa's been doing. And I know they didn't play an SEC game last night, but Sousa's their best bat in SEC play. I mean, I love what we're seeing from the freshman, Kristen Turner. I think you certainly have to keep him in the lineup. Obviously, you keep Rutenbaugh in the lineup right now. And then you saw some good things from Koziel and Ryder. So I think that the offense is really going to get it figured out. I really do think that's going to continue to improve, or at least become more consistent. You just can't have those take one step forward and two steps back. But the pitching, I am starting to get pretty concerned about, just because the relieving hasn't been great lately, and also too, I mean, all we know is that Gabe Jackal is going to be pitching on Thursday. That's all that Dave said. We don't really know past then. So, Colin Fisher, he was so dominant there at first, but just hasn't really had his control like he once did. I think he's got 4 pitches that he talked about that he feels comfortable with, but really just most of them haven't been working, just no command. So, and then will Dietz get his confidence back? So, where we were worried a month ago is the complete opposite where most people are worried now, but it's just not looking good at the current moment.
Who do you think they can trust most as a starting pitcher, and then as a reliever? Who do you have the most trust in?
Man, I guess reliever, probably say Gibbler. I think if maybe he's possibly in the running for. I don't want to make too many speculations, but I mean maybe if I'm just throwing darts, but maybe he's possibly in the running for starter. When Dietz is on and he's confident, because I think, and Davis said this a few different times. I think he gets frustrated, and look, he's still with what he's endured injury-wise throughout his career here. Like it's easy to still get in your head a little bit, and it's going to take more time and you've got to continue to throw more innings. But I think with Dietz, it's just you got to really just control your emotions as far as not letting you can't let the next pitch. They always talk about you got to have a short memory. It's just on to the next pitch, whether you're a batter or a pitcher. And I think that's what his case. He's just got to have a short memory. So when he is on, he's got the best stuff to me. I think that most would probably agree with that. But Colin Fisher, yeah, I still like him. It's just he's got to get that command back. But this is kind of a long-winded way of answering your question. Probably say reliever-wise, Gibbler, and then Dietz when he's at his best. It's kind of hard to pick a starter right now because all three have had their struggles.
Kyle Sutherland with us on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. They are hitting the ball a little better, it seems like. They did score some runs against Florida, not enough, but and then last night, of course. What do you think they do with Aloy?
Man, that's another one right there that it's because he's had some. It's kind of like what I was saying a second ago, like one step forward, two steps back. I think Aloy is a prime example of that. You look at Pompey. Pompey started off he was struggling majorly. Then went on a tear there from the time he hit that walk-off against Mississippi State, and he dropped off a little bit. Obviously, I don't think people expected Carson Brumbaugh to be on the bench at this point. There was D1 Baseball projected him as the SEC Freshman of the Year, and I think many people agreed with that. So, I think a lot of this whole deal is just and Joe, you talked about it. There was fight, and that's where you have a little bit of confidence. It's not like this team is just throwing in the towel, but if things continue to happen like this, what is going to happen with that? You think about your team leaders like Ryder and Camden and those guys and some of the pitchers as well you could throw in there. Like, they can sit here and they can have these and I'm not saying they've done this. I don't have any intel on that, but guys like that can have all these different player-led meetings. But when you have nights like last night where you feel like, okay, we're about to break a 3-game win streak, and then you get walked off and lose 15-14, that's just really hard for your head. But also, too, you have to ride the wave. Baseball is just a funny game, and you think about like an LSU, for instance. They've experienced struggles at times this season, and they're the defending national champions. I know they've won their series last week, but it's just really about riding the wave. But at the same time, you've got to get things figured out because you just can't keep dropping these games. You certainly can't get swept in series either.
How much you paying attention to spring football?
We did our press conferences right before. I'm actually about to finish up a story on A.J. Hill once we get off here. But we got Mitch Stewart, the new quarterbacks coach, the very new quarterbacks coach, and Larry Smith. So those are the assistant coaches we talked to today. And then also A.J. Hill and C.J. Brown. Got to talk to them today.
Yeah, I heard some good things about C.J. Brown the other night. That some of the I guess it was when the DBs. It was Joker. Joker pointed out C.J. and Kamari House was talking about C.J. Brown as one of the guys that have kind of grabbed their attention. So looks like maybe he's ready to take that next step.
Well, what was funny about Joker is he's from New Orleans. He's got that really strong accent. And I was trying to transcribe, and this is kind of off the subject, but trying to transcribe what he was saying is a little bit difficult because that accent is so strong. But yeah, they talked very highly. I think CJ's going to have a really good season. He had a good year last year. As far as like stats wise and everything, he didn't blow it out of the water. But as far as being such a young player on a struggling team, I thought he did a really good job. And obviously, he's a native from up there, and so I know that means a lot to him to being obviously playing for his father who passed away before the season. last year. And so I think that with what he endured last year, and obviously just knowing the landscape of Fayetteville and being kind of one of those team leaders, I guess you could say, as what is he now, a redshirt sophomore, I think is what he is now. It's his third year. So, he's one that you've been hearing a lot about. Been hearing a lot of stuff about CC or it is CC. I think it was CC that after last year had that injury and was out for the season. And they've been hearing a lot about him. That's one that Larry Smith spoke highly of today during his media session. So, it's one of those that I think everybody is kind of at a wait-and-see mode, and I don't blame anybody for that, considering how the football program has been. But, guys, I'll say that there is, I feel like, 10 times more, and not to say that the previous coaching staff didn't have any accountability, but I feel like that is one big major difference, whether you talk to assistant coaches, whether you talk to players. I mean, these guys understand what their role is, and they understand what they have to do in order to be a part of this team.
Yeah, I also heard Prevo's name too, and that was refreshing for a young guy like that to already making some waves with his teammates.
Yeah, and then another in-state guy is, we didn't get to see A.J. Jordan. A.J. Jordan was kind of the talk of the town, at least the first week or so in fall camp, and then he ended up having that high ankle sprain that slowed him down a lot, and then that's one that could really blow up. I mean, anytime you hear Warren receiver in Arkansas, you just automatically assume like that is going to be a dog football player for him, and that's one that I'm really excited to see just as far as like what he can do, because we got glimpses of it last year in fall camp. Now he's just got to stay healthy, and that's something Larry Smith talked about too. Is he just got to stay healthy, and the sky's the limit for him.
Anything notable come out of today's press conferences?
Nothing too. The only thing, this is actually what I'm writing my story on. Just kind of like a cool side story is Mitch Stewart, the quarterbacks coach. He actually played with A.J. Hill's uncle at Valdosta State in the early 2000s. So that's like a little cool side piece. That Jordan. Now that didn't have necessarily any part to play in A.J. coming to Memphis or coming to Arkansas when Mitch was at Memphis too. But it's just kind of interesting how it shows how small the football world is and like those relationships. And we hear about it all the time in the coaching ranks and things like that. But that was one of the like cool little side stories. But as far as like anything super notable, they just talked about like installing the offense and a little bit of the quarterback competition, which the coaches have said that is a coin flip right now. They said that a few different times, but nothing too out of the ordinary. Just talking about getting their feet wet and understanding what the offensive schemes are.
Kyle, we appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and talking a little Razorbacks with us.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait.
Anytime,
I
guys.
ask you, how's the softball team? How big was that win, that walk-off against Florida? That was pretty cool.
So Courtney Difel has taught. She mentioned, I think it was after the Woo Pig Classic in February. She talked about Sundays are for toughness, and that stuck out with me because people that don't watch baseball and softball, they don't understand how truly difficult it is. I mean, not just like Arkansas won the series, they didn't sweep, but how truly difficult it is to play an entire series and win it. And that was just the epitome of it to me right there, because you lost a really frustrating game Saturday, and then you come back and Dakota Kennedy is a player in the past couple of weeks that we thought he was going to be. He was an All-American at Arizona, but that was just massive. And I think that's the kind of wins you have to take that next step and get to the Women's College World Series. And Baylor Timmerman, they really needed some pitching to step up. She was phenomenal, played her best game as a Razorback Sunday. And then if Robert gets that knee healthy, that things could get really special. This is a team that's been playing really well all year. Even in the series they lost against Alabama, they still played really well. At least the offense did. So they've proven they're a legit top 10 team, and there's no debate about that. And so really excited to see what they do from here. But this is a really, really, really good squad they have.
Yeah. They'll enter the conversation soon. Maybe the best one that Courtney Difel's had.
If they, I mean, obviously, if they make it to Oklahoma City, then I mean that's gonna make that automatically. But I'll say 1 through 9. When you look at, I mean, and I think that Dakota Kennedy hitting that 3-run homer is a perfect example. You think about who was on base, and Tiana Bell was hitting over 400. I mean, this whole team it's one of the best offenses in the entire country. And DJ Gasso deserves tons of credit, the third-year hitting coach, but I mean, truly 1 through 9, you have somebody. I mean, Carly Davison in the 9-hole is hitting like close to 400. Actually, at one point she was hitting over 400. I think she's like around maybe 3. I don't even want to say it because I'll get it wrong, but she's still a really good batting average. And that's in the 9-hole and having that kind of production for you.
Kyle, we appreciate it. Thanks, man. Take care. Kyle Sutherland, hogbeat.com. Good wrap up with him. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up our second hour. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Welcome to Moe's. Everyone knows that coming into Moe's for our Mo Monday special is the best deal in burritos. But what about those other 6 days? Well, let me introduce the new Mo Value Meal. Junior burrito, side of queso, chips, salsa, and a fountain drink for only $9.99. And the best part? It's available all day, every day at Moe's Southwest Grill. Now here's my daughter Andy Kate with a special reminder.
Remember, kids eat free on Sundays. Welcome to Moe's.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 7th or Wednesday, April 8th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
With hundreds of vehicles in stock across 6 brands, your next ride is waiting for you at Red River Auto Group. We know that the road ahead is important. Whether it's your daily drive or your next big adventure, the right vehicle makes all the difference. From the reliability of a Toyota to the strength of a Ram truck, we offer vehicles built to last with options for every lifestyle. State-of-the-art technology, unbeatable performance, and the comfort you deserve. It's all waiting for you at Red River. Visit us online at redriverauto.com.
Arkansas, your moment has arrived. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Southland Casino, is officially live in your state. Now you can make every matchup even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, player props, and more, all from your phone. It's safe, secure, and easy to use. And to get things started, new Arkansas customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, just non-stop action. Powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 1037TheBuzz. New Arkansas customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code 1037TheBuzz. The crown is yours. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Southland Casino. Gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700. 21 and over. Arkansas only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 501-382-9100. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 501-382-9100. That's 501-382-9100.
On these acres, weekends aren't a break. When the ground fights back, the John Deere 4044M leans in. Because it's built like the people who run it. Tough enough to stay one more hour. Strong enough to finish the job. Take more than $7,000 off or pay $507 per month at 0% for 84 months at Greenway. Learn more at gogreenway.com. Some restrictions apply. See Greenway for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2026.
Out of bounds on 1037 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
much time to spare. Better make time for you to show how much I care. Wish that I would let
All right,
you
it is
break
Out of Bounds. Wrapping it up our second hour. So this morning I woke up, Joe, and I get on Facebook. I check my emails, just kind of daily routine. I look over at Facebook, and Sean Andrews made a post. I'm pulling it back up. It says, after careful consideration and talking things over as a unit, JJ has decided to decommit from the Razorbacks and reclass to the 2027 class. His desire to win a 5A state championship to go along with his back-to-back 4A titles is paramount. He also wants to develop more and hone in his overall skill set. We've discussed the matter with Coach Cal. He and his staff were on board with the decision. We greatly appreciate all the support from fans and family, near and far. Go Warriors and go Hogs.
And you didn't think about what today is?
I did not. I mean, dude, I'm still drinking my first cup of coffee. And I look on the comments, and then after seeing some of the comments and realize, oh, today's April Fool's. That is not funny, Sean.
It wouldn't be possible for him to reclassify to next year.
Unless he was a young senior, right? If he had already reclassified once, then he could reclassify back?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. It was too early in the morning to be thinking through that. A text to Sean is like, dude, you're not funny. It's not funny.
He had some fun with the day.
Yes, he did. All right, coming up in our third hour, we got what's trending. We'll take some more phone calls. Get back to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
To celebrate their partnership with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, your Arkansas Chevy dealers are giving away a 2027 Chevy Silverado 1500. For complete rules and to register to win, current Arkansas Game and Fish license holders should visit ChevySweepstakes.com/Arkansas Truck Hunt or see your Arkansas's best Chevy dealer for more details. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents 18 years or older who reside in Arkansas. Contest ends 12/31/26. Void where prohibited.
This is Chris Roberts with Southern Bank. If you're looking for a bank that can grow with you, now is the perfect time. Experience the difference our people make for our customers every day. Community presidents like John Holman and Lexus Landers work as true financial partners with their clients and community. Southern Bank is here to help you with all your financial needs. We have state-of-the-art online banking and friendly faces that greet you with a smile. To start your relationship with Southern Bank, visit bankwithsouthern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Oaklawn Today's Nancy Holtis gets in the zone each week this racing season courtesy of Winner's Circle Concierge, a performance thoroughbred management firm designed to remove the learning curve, complexity, and administrative burden from horse racing ownership. Call 8709-429-382.
Razorback football, basketball, and baseball right here on your home of the Hogs. 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr. The results are in for primary election runoffs across Arkansas. In White County, Clayton Edwards wins the runoff for the Republican sheriff nominee. He defeats Jeff Williams. There is no Democrat or third-party candidate in this race. And an appeals court rules to allow electronic signatures for voter registration. Arkansas moved to require handwritten signatures on paper, also known as wet signatures on voter registration applications. The organization Get Loud Arkansas sued in 2024. The judge found the group had enough evidence to show the requirement is immaterial in determining whether someone is qualified to vote. The Secretary of State says the State Board of Election Commissioners will decide on the next steps. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
Partly cloudy, windy, and warm today with a high of 85 degrees in Little Rock. Tonight, a mostly cloudy sky, a little milder, only low around 67. Tomorrow, some showers going to be possible. Not a big rain chance, a 40% chance of showers, and a high of 80. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
The 22nd annual Double B's Buzzbarbecue is coming up May 9th at the downtown Riverside RV Park in North Little Rock. Sample barbecue from some of the best barbecue cooks in Arkansas, competing for the coveted Buzzbarbecue Grand Champion Trophy. The 22nd annual Double B's Buzzbarbecue, May 9th, brought to you by Oaklawn Sports, Bud Light, and Finch Brokers. Get your tickets at buzzbarbecue.com.
Hey, it's Randy Rainwater from Drive Time Sports. Wednesday, when Rick Schaefer and I bring in some great guests, Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Kevin Bohannon, Scoop, and Scores. Hogsports.com's Trey Biddy, thanks to Chris Crane Hyundai and Genesis of Conway. Bart Reed, thanks to Martin Orthopedics, NFL agent and guru Chris Turnage, and Richard Davenport from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette and HoHogSports.com. See you Wednesday on 1037 The Buzz.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When work needs doing or the trail calls, you need a machine that's ready for both. Honda's line of Pioneer side-by-side. Choose the Compact 520, the powerful 700 series, or go big with the 1000 line. Built for 3, 5, or 6. Visit Honda of Russellville. HondaofRussellville.com today and find your perfect Honda Pioneer side-by-side. For your safety, read the owner's manual and wear a helmet and eye protection. Always wear a seatbelt and close the side nets and doors when operating. Honda side-by-sides are for riders 16 and older. When the unthinkable happens to your home or business, whether it's damage from smoke, water, fire, or mold, let Rainbow Restoration make you whole again. Their extensively trained team, state-of-the-art equipment, and 24/7 rapid response will help get your life back on track fast. Because this isn't just their service area, it's their home. When you need them, find them at ArkansasRestorationExperts.com. Rainbow Restoration, where they restore, you recover. Services performed by an independently owned and operated franchise.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
Let's start with a little NBA and what's trending. Orlando and Phoenix had a good game last night. Here are the highlights.
Booker was on Pantera. On the drive. Score the basket and the foul.
That's real nice. Paolo ripped that one through quick. No hesitation, David. Not pounding the basketball. Rip it and go right through the smaller defender.
Shot clock down to 7. Desmond Bain driving. Putting it up off the glass. He got it!
Big time move. Watch this move. This is the wrong guy guarding Desmond Bain right there.
Grayson Allen could not contain him.
No.
And Desmond Bain has delivered in the clutch again for the Orlando Magic.
Orlando wins it 115. 111 over the Suns. Looking to see how Anthony Black is doing. His little brother's getting a lot of love.
He should be.
Looks like he may be the number one point guard in the country for the junior class. Somebody to keep an eye on for next year. Maybe the point guard in waiting the following year. Anthony Black didn't play. He's out. Injured or illness was the designation. Did I miss something? Is he hurt?
I hadn't seen anything with him. Not sure specifically.
Says Black abdomen is out for Wednesday's game against Atlanta. He was spotted going through individual work after Tuesday's shoot-around. Okay. He was also out against Toronto last Sunday. So he's missed a couple games with some kind of abdomen problem. Major League Baseball, Phillies took on the Nationals.
Fly ball, right field, hit well. Wood going back. It is gone! Off the Toyota side. Kyle Schwarber has given the Phils a lead. It's 1-0 here in the third. Fly ball right field. Wood going back toward the track. It is gone! Slipped right over the IBX side. Second solo home run of the night for the Phils. It's the first home run in a Phillies uniform for Garcia. And it's 2-0 Philadelphia.
They go on to win 3-2 over the Nationals. Well, CB Buckner back in the news.
Oh my, he's having a rough go at it because not only is he getting these calls wrong, but he had to leave today's game because he took a shot where a ball ricocheted and foul tip and it hit him in the face, face mask, and he left today's game early.
Oh.
So he's having a rough go. This happened really early in the game, second inning, and he was umping Rays versus Brewers.
Adding insult to injury. Well, he had a rough night last night, too. Here the Brewers broadcast team making fun of him.
Bowers. Oh, and it out of the glove of Williamson. Throws the first. It's wide. It's backed up by Fortes. That should be a base hit for Bowers.
And never did make a move towards second base. So he's safe. Heck of an effort by Williamson at second.
Runner did not touch first base and then was put out.
So the call from CB Buckner is that Jake Bowers missed first base and then was tagged out. Not that he made a move to second base and was tagged out, that he flat out missed the bag. And I think that is the horrendous call. Where is CB Buckner looking?
He's not even looking at it. Why would he even say that?
CB Buckner was not even looking at the play.
He stepped right on top of first base. I'm not sure what CB Buckner's looking at there. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm really excited for him to have the plate tomorrow.
That's just a waste of time reviewing that.
At least review is available so you can get it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody laughing at that call.
Kevin Cash is laughing. Look at Murph. Those two guys are laughing. I can't wait to see that text chain between those two guys.
He made the comment, can't wait for him to have the plate tomorrow. Well, it wasn't long.
Did they have an ABS challenge on him in the first 2 innings?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Who knows? But there have been some incredible challenges. Yankees, they've been successful 11 of 12 challenges so far. So they've only missed one, and they've challenged quite a bit. And the thing with it is you get 2 per game, but if you get them right, you keep getting them so you can keep challenging. It's not like NFL per se or NBA where you can only challenge 2 times and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's exhausted. NFL, you can challenge twice, and if you get both of them right, you can get a third one. But MLB, you get 2, but if you keep getting them right, you just keep going.
Keep going. Well, the one yesterday was horrific. I mean, clearly, it wasn't one of those where his toe touched the bag. I mean, he hit the middle of the bag with his entire foot. When they looked at the replay, I'm like, what is he looking at? What? And if he didn't see it, why would he even call it? Just don't call anything.
Well, there was a called strike on a high pitch yesterday, and immediately the batter, he tapped his helmet, and the ump turned. He looked at the video, and he turned back, and you could read his lips. He goes, wow, that wasn't even close. So he's seeing himself that he made a really bad call.
There was one yesterday where the catcher called it. He immediately tapped. Well, first of all, he catches it, and he nods to the pitcher like, oh, good pitch, and he goes to throw it, and then up never said anything. And he's like, tapped his helmet, and they do the ABS challenge, and it is right down the middle. I mean, middle. I mean, it's like a perfect pitch to hit. Mm-hmm. It is a perfect strike, middle, and the umpire called it a ball.
he probably said, well, if the batter didn't think that was good and didn't take a swing, it must be a ball.
Oh, I like the ABS. I think it's...
Oh, it's been really successful so far, for sure.
Just get it right, and if it takes a challenge, get it right. Let's go to hockey now. Here's Blackhawks.
Wants to make the play, but the puck popped away as he tried to take on the back, and here he is again! Scores! Anton Frondel, first goal of the NHL, and he makes it 1-0 Hawks!
What a great moment for Anton Frondel, the 3rd overall draft pick. He's a point-a-game guy early on, only his 5th game. He had 4 helpers coming into this one, and this is his first National Hockey League goal. A shot from the point, smart play by McCabe, some dirty work by Bertuzzi. Holy jumping. What a start to this game, and what a start for number 16 in the Hawk sweater.
Frondel, first of many to come for him.
Yeah, he was number 3 pick overall in this season's draft. He just started his first game probably last week sometime, and now he scored his first goal.
Now we'll move to Florida and Ottawa.
Face-off sponsored by Rooms to Go, and look out right in front, Noah Gregor scores! The former Ottawa Senator, 8 seconds into the game!
So you see that opening face-off, and off that opening face-off scored right away.
Against his former team. Now to the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers.
Caps come counter-punching back. Wilson fires! He scores! Todd Wilson! Bring it on around for Chychrun. Down low, Ovechkin. Diving Washington back into a 2-goal lead.
I turned that one down. That horn was loud. Man, it scared some people driving around out there. We'll finish up with Sweden, Poland. And this is a qualifier for the World Cup?
Yeah, that's a big deal that Sweden was able to win that game, and they qualified.
Lundgren, one of the Sweden substitutes, past a tired Kivior. Lundgren with the pullback. That's the chance for Svensson. Bergvall! And then Zanelli off the post. Gyökeres scores! It's him again! Victor Gyökeres single-handedly sending Sweden towards the World Cup. They can barely believe it. The praise for Lundgren to start this off. And just when it seemed all hope was lost, no way through for Bergvall, for Zanelli, but then the power and the pure belief of Victor Gyökeres. And Sweden on the brink of joining football's elite this summer.
You can hear the excitement from the broadcast team, from the crowd, the fans. It's a big deal. And Italy, who was defending World Cup champs, it's been a while, but this is the third straight World Cup that they're going to miss. And they become first country that's ever happened with, where they're a defending champ for a World Cup cycle, and then they miss the next 3 in a row.
In golf, Razorback Maria Jose Marin leads the Augusta National Women's Amateur. She shot 7 under this morning. 7 birdies, no bogeys. Perfect round just about.
She's on it.
She is on it. So that is first round of the Augusta National Women's Amateur that's being played there at Augusta National. Huge event for the lady amateurs, and she is off to a great start. Have to keep an eye on her for the next couple of days.
NFL, they approved some rules changes. One of them is to permit kicking team, they can declare an onside at any time. So before they had certain rules in place where you could only declare at certain times of the game, because with the new rule, with the new kickoff, the new setup and alignment, there were some complications to it. You have to declare it simply because of how the alignment is. And so they wanted to say if a team was down by a certain amount of points at some part of the game where it was deep in the game and they wanted to have a chance to possibly win at the end, they could declare, but now they can declare at any point. It's still not going to be element of surprise. They have to declare to the other team and let them know. They also are taking away, we've seen this where there's a penalty, and instead of the penalty being enforced on the point after, it's being enforced on kickoff. And so kickoff team from 50-yard line, they were just kicking the ball out of bounds, and the opposing team would have to start at 20-yard line, which would push them back, and they're just kicking it out of bounds, just taking that free, taking advantage of the rule that was in place. So they're eliminating that. Also, they're going to modify kickoff alignment requirements for a receiving team. So I guess maybe they don't have to be all at one line. They can have where a certain amount of players are at the line, the initial line. There could be players behind them. And, of course, you have your returners back there. Also, a couple we discussed some of this where with officials that for 1 year with maybe the officials not coming to an agreement, that they be able to step in and overturn some of the on-field calls that are wrong. This is only in place for 1 year, and they'll reevaluate it next year, and they'll see how it worked. And if they feel like it worked to the point that they want to keep it around, they'll keep it around. But also they can consult with on-field officials about flagrant football acts and non-football acts that are being called on the field. So they can step in and try to correct those also. And that's just what's been approved so far. They probably have some more on the table and more that they can look at to go into and approve. But those are rules. They have rules, bylaws, resolutions. So there's been more with bylaws and resolutions also.
It's kind of scary that they're going to great lengths to put some of this into place. They feel like it doesn't look good for an agreement between the officials union and the NFL.
Yeah, they're far apart right now.
What's going on in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts? I've seen a couple of tweets now, and ESPN's talking about it. Is there a rift there?
Haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, they're talking about it on ESPN right now, about the fractured relationship between Jalen Hurts and the coaching staff.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, may explain some of the issues they had with the offense last year, and
Well, they got rid of the OC, so
Yeah.
I mean, what they felt like was a problem shouldn't be a problem that they're looking at going into this season, unless they still have some of those offensive struggles. But we know that that A.J. Brown, he had a big issue with how that offense was run.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, you have a new coordinator coming in. There are teams that are calling about A.J. Brown, so at some point, maybe they get an offer they can't refuse about moving him.
I haven't got it yet. I kept thinking that he was going to be traded, but
well, look for draft.
Yeah,
that would be
get a little closer.
Yeah. When you get closer to draft or on draft day, that's when some movement could happen.
Is that 3 weeks from tomorrow or 4 weeks from tomorrow?
It's not that far away, I don't think.
It's in Pittsburgh this year, right?
It is. Let's see. It is.
Tomorrow's the
It's 3 weeks.
3 weeks from tomorrow.
Yep.
That's cool. Get to start working on some of these Razorbacks that are going to be drafted. Get them on the show. Get Fernando back on here. He said he wanted to come back on and talk about the past couple of months and combine and training and the Senior Bowl. Mike Washington blowing up. Got to get Mike on here. Yeah, it'll be something to do here in the next couple of months. And then we'll have to focus on the NBA draft here pretty soon, too.
Oh, yeah, that'll be right around the corner, right after NBA Finals. NBA Finals usually starts around June 1st, and ideally they would like to see it in mid-June and on Father's Day. If it goes 7 games, they want to see it end on Father's Day, and that's how they would love for everything to shake out.
I was looking at some of the key dates for it with so many Razorbacks that may be entering their name in the draft. It's like April 26th is the last day to enter your name in the draft, and then May 28th, I believe it was, is the last day to take your name out of the draft. So it could be a long 2 months for Razorback fans waiting to see who's going in and if they're going to pull out their name of the NBA draft or staying in the NBA draft.
Another key to look at is NBA Draft Combine. And so the players, they're going to go to Combine. They get to play some pickup games in front of scouts, get some feedback from NBA scouts and NBA teams. And from that point, now they make a decision. Do they want to keep their names in the draft? They want to get out, and those are some keys to look at.
I fully expect Billy Richmond to take advantage of that and to enter his name along with Malik Thomas and just to go to the Combine and go through that experience. And maybe even Malik Ewan. Wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing.
Dates for that are May 11th through 15th.
Okay. That makes sense. Then you basically get a couple of weeks to decide your future, whether you're going to stay in the draft or go back to college. So, busy couple of months coming up. We'll take a break. When we come back, we are open. If you want to join us, 661-1037. Same number for the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Talk a little Razorbacks. We can do basketball, baseball, spring football. Wide open. Give us a call. It's Out of Bounds.
Register now for the 2026 Buzz Spring Golf Tournament presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka, April 13th at Burns Park Golf Course. Register at 1037thebuzz.com.
This is Sports Center.
Razorback baseball is now 19-11 overall on the year, losing their 4th consecutive game ahead of this weekend's series at 18th-ranked Auburn. The Razorbacks were walked off by Missouri State's Caden Bogenpol in the bottom of the 10th inning. Bogenpol hit a walk-off home run 419 feet to left field against freshman right-hander Peyton Lee, giving the Bears a 15-14 victory over the Hogs. The Razorbacks and Bears will meet again in Fayetteville on Tuesday, April 21st. The Razorbacks will begin their weekend road series at Auburn tomorrow night. And some NBA scores from last night. The Magic beat the Suns 115-111. The Pistons beat the Raptors 127-116. The Rockets beat the Knicks 111-94. And the Lakers beat the Cavaliers 127-113. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
Attention skilled craftsmen, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is hiring only the best that the natural state has to offer. If you're ready for your next big opportunity to have steady work and better pay, Bath Makeover of Arkansas is ready to talk to you. Bath Makeover is looking for plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers to help us keep up with high demand. Bath Makeover is growing our commercial division as well, with the ability to now install over 100 bathrooms a month. Bath Makeover can knock out multi-unit projects quickly, easily 10 bathrooms at a time in a single week at hotels, apartments, and government housing all across Arkansas. Bath Makeover of Arkansas is looking for only experienced and qualified skilled craftsmen to join our talented team. To learn more about the job opportunities at Bath Makeover of Arkansas, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com. Plumbers, electricians, bathroom installers, and project managers, visit bathmakeoverar.com. That's bathmakeoverar.com.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
For Pulaski County residents and businesses, do recycling right by recycling old electronic equipment. How? Come to North Little Rock Simmons Bank Arena parking lot on Tuesday, April 7th or Wednesday, April 8th for an electronic recycling event. Learn more at recyclingunplugged.com. If it's electronic and no longer usable, drop it off and we'll recycle it for free. For information, go to recyclingunplugged.com.
It's March Madness at Natural State Wholesale, The Warehouse, and the deals are a total slam dunk. Score big on all kinds of flooring, butcher block countertops, shingles, sinks and faucets, bathroom vanities, ceiling fans, and so much more. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, updating your bathroom, or tackling a full home project, Natural State Wholesale has the inventory and the prices to win the game. Don't miss the madness. These deals won't last forever. Head to Natural State Wholesale, The Warehouse, where contractors and homeowners both come to score big.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bobber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the Stunning Evo Special Edition, and the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the TruService Credit Union Studios.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Wes Moore. He's Joe Franklin. And we have an open segment. If you'd like to join us, go ahead and call now, 661-1037. Take a look at the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Try to get caught up over there. 501 said earlier, if the Razorbacks come out against Georgia in the beginning of the football season and at least keep the game close, how confident do you feel they make a bowl game under Silverfield in his first year?
Well, if they look impressive against Georgia, then maybe that is something that you could see maybe sets the tone for the season, and we could see more of what type of team they would be. Against a team like that, if they play well, then maybe it'll be a better season than we think going in.
You know, I think back to the COVID year, I guess Pittman's first year when they played Georgia really close, that first game. We heard how that kind of told the team itself that they were different. This was coming off the Chad Morris years where they had struggled and probably didn't have a lot of confidence. I think this team needs that because of there's so many new players and so many unknowns, and I think they'll be, kind of curious themselves, just how good are they? And when you can go toe-to-toe with what's expected to be one of the best teams in the country early in the year, that would help. I mean, first of all, you take care of North Alabama and look impressive against them, and then the road trip to Utah. I mean, that's going to say a lot, tell us a lot about this team. Because Utah, normally an older team and usually a good team. Of course, they'll have some changes at Utah this year, but
we don't know what to expect from them.
No. But, yeah, Georgia, you go toe-to-toe with Georgia, heck yeah. That instills some confidence in the fan base. Let's go to Jimmy. He's enrolling. What's up, Jimmy?
What's up, guys? I haven't heard this mentioned today. Yesterday, listening to Phil, when they took Steele off the mound and brought in another pitcher, I can't remember the second pitcher that came in, but something happened, and Phil said that our catcher, golly, what's his name?
Ryder Helfrich?
Helfrich and him were mouthing at each other, and the umpire had to kind of settle it down. Do you know what that was about? And I'm going to hang up and listen.
Thanks, Jimmy. No, I did not see it. That was early in the game, obviously, the second inning, so I missed it. I had not heard anything about that. I can ask Steele about it at some point. But, yeah, DeCreamer came in for Steele, and that first inning, he gave up a double and then got out of the inning without anybody scoring. In the second inning, Steele hit a guy, Bergman, Craigle homered to left center. Then he gave up a single and a walk. And then that's when DeCreamer came in. So I do not know. Thank you, though. I'll dig into it, ask around, see what I can find out. Back to the D3 Auto Sales text line. First time in a long time you can sense the frustration in DVH. He's PO'd with this group. Well, it's the first time in a long time they've been
in a situation
like this. So we haven't had to see Dave Van Horn get mad because they've had so much success. But, yeah, first time to get swept at home in a decade, 4-game losing streak. When's the last time they had a 4-game losing streak? Probably have to go back for a while. Sean in Little Rock, I've never seen our baseball team perform like this. This will have to be DVH's best coaching year. Just my perspective. Well, they're just still a little early. Still got 7 series to go. It's just a bad taste in everybody's mouth right now because of 4 straight losses. The last one being a walk-off.
What makes it even more interesting, it shows you can't take anything for granted or say that it's going to happen a certain way with predictions before the season, because before, everybody's looking at the schedule and thinking about series that they're not playing and teams that they're not having to play and that are on the schedule this year, saying it looked like an easier schedule, but each season is its own.
Well, as it turns out, I remember saying over and over when we were looking at it, as of right now, it looks like an easy schedule. But some of the teams that they have gotten on their schedule this year are playing better than expected and are ranked, whereas the teams that aren't on their schedule that everybody was like, oh, don't have to play Tennessee. Oh, don't have to play LSU. Those 2 teams are struggling.
Knew it would be some differences with Tennessee, though, because of Tony Vitello moving on.
They got swept last weekend by Vanderbilt. 3 walk-off wins or 3 walk-off losses. You think it's bad here?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To happen in one series.
Did I see 3 McDonald players going to USC? You did.
Yeah, twins.
Yeah.
And another player. They had the most. They had the most of any school.
The Ratliff twins and Christian Collins are going to USC. Yeah, Musselman's done a good job of recruiting. He had what's his name? Arenas' son, Gilbert Arenas' son.
Yeah, and that's a benefit that you have. You have NBA players that are from the area, and then you have their kids that want to stay close to home. We saw it with Bronny James, and then, of course, Bronny was there before, but, I mean, that's a benefit in being at that school in that area. You get those types of players.
Talking with those guys from California when I was out there, man, the high school basketball out there is awesome. I mean, they've got all kinds of talent, and the problem has been keeping them home, more of them home. They've been leaving the state.
And the thing about it is they want to stay.
Yeah.
They want to be close.
Well, he had a rough year last year, and injuries were a big part of it, but it hasn't gone as he had hoped at USC, and I know the attendance is a big factor. And it's crazy to me that with all those, students, and then, of course, L.A., nobody was going to their games. It's a nice arena.
They go to the women's games. They want to see Juju. Of course, she was out this season, but they show up to those games because they want to see one of the best players in women's college basketball.
501 says, what are the goaltending rules in college basketball regarding touching the ball after the ball touches the glass or rim on a shot? Well, you can't touch it until it clears the rim. If it's still in the cylinder and you touch it, that's goaltending. If it hits the glass and then you touch it, that's goaltending. So you've got to make sure once it hits the glass, it's outside of the cylinder, and then you can touch it. 870 says, nope, I'm still concerned about the offense as much as the pitching. Explosions against Missouri State and South Carolina don't prove you can do it against real SEC arms. They're going to see some real SEC arms this weekend against Auburn. That is kind of their MO. They've got a good pitching staff, good starting rotation on the weekend. 870 writes in and says, I know you guys are probably sick of Olivier Roux talk. Yes, I am. I don't know about Joe, but I am. But how do you think the fit with Little Rock would be? I want to say Coach Ford recruited Robert Avila, who I think was a project coming out of Indiana State. Now, if you want to talk about the 7-9 guy coming to Little Rock, we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great fit for him and get some playing time. I tried to get Coach Ford on today.
Mm-hmm.
He's already out recruiting. They said he was flying out and wouldn't be available during the show. We're going to work to get him on just to talk about coming to Little Rock, but he's hit the ground running, as he should. Randall writes in, says the Little Rock Christian basketball coach wouldn't be too upset about that if it was true. No, Randall, he would be very happy, thrilled to get JJ back for another year.
Sean Andrews got a lot of love during that broadcast last night, too.
He did.
Especially at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about him having the cut-off sleeves on the shirt. They're like, yeah, the guns are a bit too big for him to fit those sleeves, so he had to cut it off.
The ABS is awesome because it only takes 3 seconds. Oh, it is quick. And I love how they do it. They're inside the stadium. I mean, all eyes are up at it. Everybody's looking at it, the players, the umpires sometimes. And right away. It's quick.
It's like tennis, eagle eye. Mm-hmm. You see that where they question whether a ball is in or out, and it is. It's a really, really good process.
Brady in Conway says, haven't watched the game yet. How long are the ABS reviews taking? There you go, Brady. Probably about 3 seconds. I mean, it is. Tap of the helmet, a little delay, 2-3 seconds, and then bam. It's quick. It shows right away. There you go. Ball strike comes up, and it's done.
That's why the thought is every pitch could be called like that.
Yeah.
And there would be no question.
501 says, I really wish Van Horn would stop putting infielders in left field. Didn't we learn that lesson last year? Yeah, they didn't have anybody left. And Rutenbar's really not even an infielder. He's a catcher. But he's athletic enough, and they played him some at first base. And he's done fine at first base, but last night when you have an outfielder out with a patella issue and then Micah New out because of strep throat, all of a sudden they were down thin on outfielders, and they had to move the freshman from Houghton Christian Turner from left field to center field, and that left a gap in left field. And they wanted to get Rutenbar's bat in the game. Maybe we were talking with I can't remember who told us this. May have been Matt Jones on Monday, that left field is so different from right field that they tried to put somebody in that plays some right field into left field, but he had no success, so they moved him back to right field. It wasn't Eloy. But anyway, yeah, they were out of left fielders last night. And they were like, hey, can you do it? He tried. Did not look great. 501, is Eloy hurt? Looks completely different player this year. Well, that's TK. TK, he is not hurt. Maybe his feelings are hurt after 5 strikeouts last night. 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. And I watched 2 of the strikeouts, and he looked lost. I mean, he did. I mean, some of the pitches he was swinging at, and I'm like, if I'm on the mound, I'm not throwing him a strike. I'm just throwing him a breaking ball.
Make him chase.
Yes, because he's chasing. That's part of he's swinging at everything. And a lot of times they'll throw a slider, and it's diving off away from the plate, and he's not even close to hitting it. And that's what K-Bo was telling us, Kevin Bohannon. He's pulling off the ball, and so his bat's not even reaching the outside of the plate. And so when they're throwing it even off the plate, I mean, he's missing it by like a foot and a half.
It sounds like he's going to be top of scouting report. Just go after him.
No.
I'm saying go after him in a way where you're just throwing it anywhere
away
and let him go after the pitches.
Yeah. Let him get himself out, because that's what he's doing right now. I would not be surprised, or I would be surprised if he's in the lineup tomorrow night. I figure he's going to get a day off. If everybody's healthy and can return, Mike Anu can put him back in center field, put Turner back in left, and then DH Rutenbar and get his bat in the lineup. But now you got a DH, and Eloy may be sitting for a little bit until he figures out his swing and can fix the issues that he has right now. JW says Arkansas could have 3 guys, also 0 for the East. I cannot remember his name. It was between Michigan and Arkansas. Oh, Arkansas could have had 3.
He's probably talking about Bradford.
Was it Bradford? I know they were on McCoy for a while. And when I talked to, who was it earlier this year? A recruiting guy. Anyway, he was like, yeah, they were on McCoy for a while. Not sure where things stand with him, but he is still uncommitted if they wanted to add somebody else. Alex wants to know, do you think the football team can win 6 games this year?
Way too early for that.
Yeah, they could.
At this point, no. At this point, no. But as it gets closer, those chances increase.
Yeah. I do want to watch the spring game. I'm ready to see that. All right, let's go over, check out live fan feedback. The Weary Hog fan says, let's not forget the Hogs took 2 out of 3 from Mississippi State, who is at the top of the SEC standings. This team is capable of playing great baseball. We've seen it happen. Yeah, you're right. That's a little perspective for you right there. Mississippi State came in and took 2 out of 3 from them. Nice series, and Mississippi State's continued to play well after that series. So, yeah, this team is capable of playing good baseball. Just didn't do it last weekend. Didn't do it yesterday. Last night. Let's take a break. Coming up next, last segment of the day. Get ready for Drive Time Sports. Wrap this thing up. We'll take another phone call if you want to join us, 661-1037. 661-1037. That is also the number to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. If you'd rather text us, we'll finish up on the text line when we come back. It's Out of Bounds.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Megan Williams with the Associated Builders and Contractors of Arkansas. We're excited to bring back Build My Future Central Arkansas April 2nd at the Conway Expo Center for a hands-on, interactive construction industry showcase like no other. We appreciate all the sponsors, exhibitors, and educators for working together to make an impact on the 1,700 high school students planning to attend the event. Are you a contractor wanting to get involved? There's still time. For more details, visit buildmyfuture-centralarkansas.com.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Shipments of spring and summer fashions are arriving at Bell & Sword. That means swimwear from Saks, Peter Noir golf wear and shirts, Johnny O's store within a store. Be sure to check out the Faraday line and Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. So hurry in for a great value on quality men's clothing at Bell & Sword for your spring and summer items, and you'll look fantastic. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in downtown Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Hello, Buzz listeners. It's Chris Zender here at Frank Fletcher Dodge Chrysler Jeep in Sherwood. Listen to this. It's March Madness, the month of crazy deals. Here's what I got for you. Available 0% financing, available sales tax paid, available 0 down, and available 90 days to your first payment. Let me tell you about these deals. Ram trucks up to $12,000 off. The Jeep Compass 4x4 is 0 down, just $439 a month. Grand Cherokee 4x4, $469 a month. Now here's the big one. We got some lease deals. We're making it affordable to drive what you want. Gladiator lease, 0 down, $449 a month. Wrangler lease, just $499 a month. That's real savings in your pocket. This is the month to save big. We make it easy to buy, no pressure, no games, and don't worry about your credit. Go to FletcherCredit.com and get pre-approved in minutes. Folks, we're still buying cars every day. Bring your old car to Fletcher Dodge and turn it into cash. At Fletcher Dodge, you always get the best price, the lowest finance rate, and more for your trade. Shop us before you buy anywhere else. Come see us, 5922 Warden Road, or shop online at FletcherDeals.com.
Tune in to Out of Bounds each Monday for Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years, they're your small to mid-sized fleet specialists that also takes care of our fleet at Signal Media. Fleet Management Services is now hiring for lube tech, tire tech, and light maintenance. 8 paid holidays and paid vacation, paid health insurance, and 401k. Pay depends on experience and signing bonus. Apply in person at 901 East 8th Street in Little Rock.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
Arkansas is known as the natural state, and around here, conservation isn't just a priority. It's a way of life. And that's why Arkansas's best Chevy dealers are proud to sponsor and partner with the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission to help drive habitat conservation. In honor of this partnership, your Arkansas Chevy dealers are celebrating in a big way. They're giving away a 2027 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's a natural choice for the great outdoors, offering strength and capability that stands out from the rest of the herd, plus a powertrain limited warranty for 5 years or 60,000 miles, whatever comes first. For complete rules and to register to win a 2027 Chevy Silverado, current Arkansas Game and Fish license holders should visit ChevySweepstakes.com/Arkansas Truck Hunt. Or you can see your Arkansas Best Chevy dealer for more details. No purchase necessary to enter. Open to legal residents 18 years and older who live in Arkansas. This contest ends at the end of the year. Void where prohibited. Pretty cool. Registered to win a 2027 Chevy Silverado. Got to have that Arkansas Game and Fish license. ChevySweepstakes.com. Arkansas Truck Hunt. Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin with you. Wrapping things up. We go back to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Got a couple more, and we are done. Got everybody worked in today. 501 wants to know, what was Missouri State's record going into yesterday's game? Were they a terrible team in their conference? No, they're a good team. They were 18-9. Or now, I guess they were 17-9. Now they're 18-9. Kevin Bohannon told us they had a net ranking in the, what was it, top 15? Top 20?
They're usually good.
Yeah. I mean, they're an NCAA tournament team. They've made runs in the postseason. Heck, they beat Arkansas in the Fayetteville Regional one year. But it wasn't like a bad loss that you're like, ugh. It just sucks because you got walked off and it's your fourth straight loss. Jeff says you need to get Aloy a chicken to sacrifice. Got some bad juju going right now. Yeah, he needs to figure it out at the plate. Maybe a day off or two will help. And just get in the batting cage and figure it out. You know that he's working on it. He's trying to get it. He knows what's going on. They know what's going on. Just got to put in the work. Aloy will be fine. 501 says maybe Arkansas is going to peak at the end of the year. Let's hope so. I mean, we've seen teams do that. It's not always the best team or one of the best teams in the country that goes on to win it. I mean, it does happen sometimes, but you get a team, it was Ole Miss. Remember Ole Miss barely made the tournament one year?
And went on to win.
And won the whole thing, man. They got hot. They had some pitchers. They put it all together, and next thing you know, they're celebrating in Omaha. Arkansas's got the talent. We know that. They got the pieces. We've seen them all perform at different times this year. It's just putting it all together at the right time. And here, and well, really just here recently, it's just been a struggle. Whether it's been hitting some nights or pitching the other nights. More recently, it's been pitching in this 4-game losing streak. You felt like they could hang their hat on the mound and playing defense. Well, last night, both let them down. And I know Rutenbar's out there playing left field, and he's not normally a left fielder, but he had a bad error that led to 3 unearned runs. That's a difference in the ball game. Then you get and think of your pitching staff giving up 15 runs. That hurts because that's been a strength of the team. They've had, one of the better ERAs in the country, and then you look at what Florida did in that 3-game sweep with all the runs they scored, and then 15 runs last night. Their ERA's taken a beating.
Especially in a game where offense is coming through for you, but it's just the result that the losing team, you're going to get this same conversation because the winning team gave up a lot of runs, but they won the game.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a frustrating locker room right now, but a couple of wins this weekend could cure that. Over on Bet Saracen, let me update the odds for the national championship games or the semifinals. By the way, Brian Edwards, VegasInsider.com, will join us tomorrow at 3:30. So I've moved some of our guests from Friday to Thursday since we're all off on Friday for Good Friday. We'll get to start our Easter travel a little earlier than expected. So pleasant surprise for me today. Illinois still a 2-point favorite over UConn. The money line has Illinois minus 130. UConn is plus 110. Illinois, UConn over-under is up to 140. I believe it was 138.5 yesterday. It is 140 today. Michigan, Arizona. Michigan is a 1.5 favorite over Arizona.
That's where the change is. They both were 2, and now it's down to a 1.5 here.
Michigan on the money line is minus 125. Arizona's plus 105. I saw maybe it was the morning show. Maybe it was Zone. Somebody asked the question the other day, who you think is going to win? And here in Arkansas, most people think Arizona's going to win. So Bet Saracen could take a licking because they're getting a 1.5 and it's plus money on the money line. Over-under on this game, it's gone down a little bit more, Joe, 157.5. I love the over. And it's going the opposite way. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm in the minority. More people like the under. Feel like the defenses will kind of neutralize each other's offense. Because they do both have good defenses. They can score a lot of points, but they play defense too.
That Duke-Michigan matchup, you saw them kind of doing it on both ends.
Mm-hmm. What was the final score in that game?
Not sure.
I remember watching it.
But you could see there were times during the game where both teams were locking down on defense.
Struggling to score a little bit, yeah. All right, coming up on the show tomorrow, we'll have Richard Davenport at 2:10, Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen at 2:30, Brian Edwards at 3:30, and we'll have Mark the Magician with Oakland picks at 1:30. So a full day tomorrow to end out our week.
68-63.
Wow. Low-scoring game.
Yeah.
What's that, 131 combined? That's going to do it for today. Thank you for listening. Stick around, though. Drive Time Sports is next.
Experience the unmistakable difference